Okay, so starting up the recording now. Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge. Addy actually said "hey" before I hit the record button, so it got lost. So
You
that's
won't hear me.
Addy.
You won't hear me say it this time.
This is episode 80, featuring Addy not saying "hey." There's
Holy
Pink.
crap, we're at 80?
We're at 80. Yes. There's 20 episodes left until 100.
We're
Oh.
officially seniors.
We're well past retirement age.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fucking kill somebody to get a mic for Mike at some point. Alright, hey, it's the post E3 2019 as Simmel. I like it. Simmel.
By the way, Symbol is actually a bad name because some music artist is using it.
I don't
That's
doubt
not
it.
good.
Are they doing it with a Y?
Yes.
Fuck.
Yes, I looked it up.
Okay, well, interesting. Anyways, hey, it's post E3 show. So, alright. Let's go ahead. Now that it's over, big highlight of E3 for you, Pink.
Honestly, Watch Dogs.
Really?
Somehow, I I had no opinions whatsoever regarding that franchise at all. And their presentation at E3, I think, stole the show.
Yeah, I think that they kind of had it cut out for them because everyone else is banking on their ninth generation games. Except for Sony's still got Last of Us 2 and Ghost of
And Ghost of
Tsushima,
Tsushima. Yeah.
right, which are to finish off the 8th generation, but because Sony didn't even show up, they didn't do it.
Right.
But everyone else is banking on the ninth generation, so for the most part, it was a very flaccid show. Like, Microsoft just barely acknowledged that the ninth generation Xbox will even exist, just because they,
Yeah.
because they have to keep up with Sony acknowledging that the PlayStation 5 exists.
Mm-hmm.
It exists in our hearts.
So, I mean, with Watch Dogs Legion, what was the specific part of that presentation that really sold you?
Granny.
Old granny.
Yep.
Badass grandma.
There is some incredible potential there, and it's like, even if there are only two different types of playable characters, grandmas and everybody else, I think people would still be satisfied.
Absolutely.
The cops play the same, the little nerds play the same, they all play the same, grandmas. This is a class-based game with two classes. Grandma and normal.
No grandma.
Non-grandma.
Grandma and not grandma.
Alright, Addy, what was the highlight of Ubisoft for you?
I don't know. I guess Watch Dogs for Ubisoft. Overall, I'd say that the highlight of E3 was the freaking shitty-ass Contra game they announced for how shit it looks.
You're more excited for a not Contra game than you are for the actual Contra game.
Yes, that's true.
How have you not,
I mean, they're not...
how have you not played
Yeah.
Cuphead? Isn't Cuphead just Contra?
Cuphead is too expensive and never goes on sale enough. It never went on a good enough sale for me to buy it yet.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's always like I think it's $20 normally, and whenever it goes sale, it goes down to 15.
Ugh.
And yeah,
Yeah, I can see why you're not paying $15 for Cuphead. I mean, don't get me wrong, they put a shit ton of work into the sprites for Cuphead, but most people at the end of the day don't give a shit about sprites. As long as it's 2D, they're gonna be cynical. And like,
Right.
Addy, you don't seem like a terribly in support of 2D guy.
it depends. For other guns, I only like 2D. It's the reason why I think the new Contra game was shit.
No. I'm not saying like 2D like in terms of gameplay. I mean 2D in terms of art style.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cuphead went for a certain aesthetic that would look very weird in 3D.
Yeah, I like Cuphead's aesthetic. It's just the aesthetic alone is not worth it for me, and yeah.
I've heard nothing but praise for that game. That's one of those few games where, like, even people that I would expect to be critical of it aren't really. It's weird.
Right.
And I guess for me, the highlight of E3, I'm not going to go with Watch Dogs Legion because you guys went with Watch Dogs Legion, but this is a controversial pick. It's a good thing we've only got one viewer, or else my ass would get blown wide open for this. Avengers.
Avengers.
Yes. I know we got no gameplay information. I know, everybody said that. I know that the characters look a little too suspiciously close to the MCU. I know everybody says that. I know there's going to be microtransactions. I know everybody says that. If you didn't expect any of this, it gets into the problem where the Witcher 3 crowd wants everything to be Witcher 3. Because that's the chief complaint I've seen here. People complaining about the fact that it's going to be a multiplayer games as a service game. Because everyone wanted it to be Witcher 3. But with Marvel characters. It's the Witcher 3 crowd that insists that single-player games are dying out. That single-player games are a endangered species. When they're very clearly not, you know? So, yeah, I thought that was terribly obnoxious. To me, the game looks incredible graphically, obviously, but that's not really important. I am fascinated by the idea of this game that has been worked on by like 4 different development studios at the same time. Like
over the course of 4 years.
Yeah. When they started listing off all the developers, me and Sue, and we were there watching it, and we went, well, shit, that's why Square Enix only got to show off remasters this year, because everybody besides the Japanese team has been working on Avengers. And, like, yeah, I know a lot of people are pissy about the possibility that it might just end. Like, the rumors about it being a Destiny game, but with Marvel floating around, like, I was really, really worried we were going to get an X-Men Destiny situation. Where Captain America and Iron Man are the quest givers, right? And you play as, I don't know, you're supposed to make your own superheroes, but people, of course, just make Super Dick Man or that kind of thing. Spicy Butthole Man. So, you're actually playing as actual superhero characters, actual Avengers. Alright, game's vastly improved for me already.
Yep.
So, even if it is a Schluter Destiny type, which I'm not a big fan of gameplay-wise, I think they are horribly overrated, I put up with Marvel Heroes' worst parts for its best parts. If this is at its best, it could be a genuinely great action Avengers game. At its worst, it'll be Marvel Heroes, but more graphically impressive. I'm okay with either option. I was there for Marvel Heroes. I'm okay if this is just an this is just an MMORPG, but with Marvel characters. I'm okay with that. Which it won't be too heavily MMO, because they said it's only going to have 4-player co-op. It's just going to be games as a service. Which, of course, games as a service is always inevitably part MMO.
Yeah.
But every multiplayer game nowadays does games as a service. All of them. It's just the universality. Really, ever since Team Fortress 2. Because Team Fortress 2 just made it a thing. Every update, Team Fortress 2 is like, hey, here's new guns, here's new hats, here's new whatevers. It's weird. It's weird to see this stuff evolve, man. I'm excited for that. I get that a lot of people are cynical. I just think they're being overly pessimistic about the situation. Or a similar case to Mortal Kombat 11, where it's not actually what people are criticizing it for, but people want a straw man to point out as an indication of the flaws in the industry.
Right.
And Mortal Kombat 11, of course, was innocent of everything it was accused of, by and large. But people thought it was guilty of something, which meant that it opened up a discussion. And that's the important part to most people. Most people are willing to just, fuck this game, let's start a discussion about why games as a service ruined one of my favorite games, or something like that, you know?
Right.
Because at this point, the ones who are most guilty of, like, Addy's the first out of the three of us to go, oh god, EA is the devil, right?
Right.
Addy, even you have to concede Rockstar is worse than EA at this point. 2K is worse than EA.
Oh, 2K, definitely. 2K is definitely worse than EA. I actually genuinely hate 2K more than EA.
There we go. At least you can admit that. So, I don't know. Changing game industry. Alright, Pink. Low light. What was the moment of E3 that most made you die inside and just crawl into the ass of your seat and go,
Just Dance. Definitely Just Dance for Pink.
No, I thought the Dancing Panda Bear was wild, man. I was excited. They got me hyped.
Are you gonna buy the
That's an
Just Dance
excellent
games now?
question. What's that?
Are you gonna buy the Just Dance games now?
Oh, heck no.
Okay.
Let's see. What did I really not like from E3? Nothing really comes to mind. I remember I was a bit disappointed with Nintendo's presentations. I found it to be rather boring, to be honest.
Oh yeah, the lack of Bayonetta 3 killed me.
Yep.
With that said, thank God they didn't just show off Dragon Quest Hero.
Yep.
Like, I'll admit, like, Dragon Quest Hero looked as boring as physically possible to me. Like, it's another fucking Fire Emblem character. Great. But now he has one or two of Robin's spells. Great. But then they showed off that he's going to be 5 characters in one. I was like, alright, sure. Yeah, you know what? I'll take it. Or was it
Any
3?
character, any character can be fixed by Morrigan.
Yeah, right. Was it 3 or was it 5 Dragon Quest Heroes you got, Pink? Because you definitely got Bandana Man from Dragon Quest 8.
I think it was 5.
You might get 5. Are they going to be Echo Fighters or alternative skins? Because if they're Echo if they're Echo Fighters, the roster screen's going to need some widening. But then they followed it up with a pick that everybody's actually happy about in the West. I feel like this is the kind of situation where they had to balance both.
Right.
Because in Japan, I bet they're all like, what the fuck is a Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah.
Like, and up until Banjo-Kazooie is genuinely the first all Western character in Smash history.
Right.
Yeah, he's a history maker. And everybody was like, whoa, Banjo's in, that means that now all Western characters have a chance. Doom Guy's coming in. And it's like, me pulling for Doom Guy. I've been pulling for Doom Guy from the start. Who are the two that I've always wanted from the very beginning of Smash DLC? Dante and Doom Guy. I've known Doom Guy is the hardest pull. Like, the only Western character they put in is Banjo, and Banjo already significantly resembles several of the Nintendo Japanese characters that are on the roster.
Because technically he was a Nintendo character.
Technically, yeah, now he's not. Fuck no. But technically he was. Banjo's already palatable to the Japanese audiences. Whereas, like, Japan revulses at the macho American heroes as much as America revulses at the Japanese waifu girls. Like, Addy, do you remember the shit fit that Harada threw when people didn't like Lucky Chloe?
Yeah.
Now he said, oh, don't worry, guys, I'm gonna replace her with a muscular, bald white dude with sunglasses and a beard and tattoos. You'll like that, won't you? Like, yeah, Harada. No, I wouldn't like that, but I'd like it better than Lucky fucking Chloe. Never mind the fact that once I actually got my hands on Tekken 7, I actually did kind of like Lucky Chloe. Whoopsie.
and we also got bald tattoo man in Marduk. So
I don't like Marduk.
Marduk sucks.
I like his moveset, by all means. I like the MMA moveset, but Marduk looks ridiculous.
I don't like anything about Marduk.
Everyone else on the roster has normal proportions, and then Marduk's the Incredible fucking Hulk for some reason. Oh, I guess there's Gigas now, isn't there?
Everyone in MMA is on PEDs, so.
Yeah, they're on PEDs, but I don't think they're on fucking gamma rays.
You never know.
Well, I haven't seen a UFC fighter with a giant tumor shooting out of his back, so I assume they're not on gamma rays.
A UFO fighter.
Shut up. Addy, what was the worst moment of E3 for you?
Time to pull out the list. No, seriously.
Tom Clancy's mobile game.
Armbar.
It's Armbar. Armbar was the worst part of E3. I think it was the freaking. It was either genuinely the new Contra or the price of the Contra collection that they put out. It was like, yeah.
What's the price?
$20.
That's perfectly reasonable. You're getting multiple games in one package. Fucker, I paid $10 for Symphony and Rondo, and that's only 2 games. Admittedly, Symphony's a pretty big game, but still.
But like of the freaking, like I'm very sure, of the like 7 games that, quote unquote 7 games they have, actually like 3 of them are just the first Contra, 2 of them are the second, and then 2 of them are also the third.
Yeah, they included all the editions. That way you get to play all of them. Street Fighter did the same thing with its HD collection. There's like 6 versions of Street Fighter 2 on that fucking collection, man. They did it.
Dude, do you know the difference between freaking Rise or Pro Protector and Contra?
No, but I'm not a Contra fan. I don't give a shit. You
Literally the only difference between those games is the character sprite.
I'm sure there's more than that.
Genuinely not. Okay, well, no, the character sprites. There we go.
Well, they put that in because some people might prefer one sprite, and some people might prefer the other. That's what we call good features for the consumer.
The only people who even know Pro Protector is freaking Germans because they banned freaking people at a time.
Was that the thing where they replaced people with robots?
Yes.
There are tons of people that love that one. There are a lot of people who famously say that the Americans should have gotten the German version of Contra because it's more awesome to fight robots than regular soldiers. Have you never seen that opinion? It's a pretty common one.
No.
I've seen it all the time, and I don't even care about Contra.
I've never heard of it, but then again, I don't move in mech circles, so...
Alright. Okay, for me, worst moment of E3, Gears of War pop. Or how about Square showing off ads for games that they released 6 months ago? Yeah, Square, perfect time to show it off. What the hell? Alright. Just to summarize real quickly. So, Pink, what did you think of the Avengers thing? Because I definitely want to get your opinion on that.
I'm mildly excited. I don't care that the character designs don't look like their MCU counterparts. I do care that a lot of their costumes
are ass.
Look absolutely horrible.
Ass.
Captain America in specific.
Yes.
He just looks like garbage.
Why would they put
Thor actually like Thor's design? Captain America, it's awful. I cannot stand it.
Thor's problem is his face.
Pink also misses Captain America's gun.
Shut up, Addy.
Well, I don't know what they were thinking with Cap's design. Why put a bulletproof vest over Cap's regular suit?
Mm-hmm.
It's not bulletproof enough.
So here's what I think. I think they might have intentionally made Cap's suit bad, and this is a hard pull. That may be conspiracy theory. You know, this may be some nonsense, but I think they intentionally made Cap's costume bad so that you'll buy one of the DLC costumes.
Right.
Because I'm definitely shelling out for, like, if they make the ultimate suit an option for Tony, I'm taking it. Guaranteed. Everyone's got their weirdo suit they always like that nobody else likes. I always loved Ultimate Iron Man's look. And Pink, I'm sure, is going to disagree with me hard there. Pink, do you even remember Ultimate Iron Man's suit? Pink?
Pink is dead.
Ah. Okay.
Boo got to him.
I kicked him from the call. Hang on, let me get the Ultimate Iron Man suit. That way I can get everyone's opinions on it, so it can be an actual topic.
Hey, Pink.
Hi there.
I said, do you think that they intentionally made the Cap suit bad so that people would buy DLC costumes to replace it?
I was thinking the same thing, honestly.
Because I'd totally shell out for, like, the Ultimate Iron Man costume to replace that. Hang on.
Right.
And I went on a little bit. I thought you would probably dislike the Ultimate Iron Man suit. And I realized Addy probably doesn't even know what the Ultimate Iron Man suit is.
Oh, it's freaking... It's, Big Hero 6.
Yeah. I think Iron Man is, like, the only Ultimates design that I actually like. But it's also Iron Man, and I don't think he's ever worn a suit that I didn't like.
Oh, there have been some bad Iron Man suits. The one that they've got in the game right now isn't very good. I'm looking up Ultimate Captain America because I don't remember his costume being too inoffensive. I like Ultimate Cap. It's got a bit too much of the old Liefeld sax going on, but other than that,
Yeah.
I like that it doesn't have the little head wings, but it's still Cap. You know?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to deviate. I don't want to deviate too far from a classic Cap, but the head wings are just too silly to take seriously.
Yeah, the movies where it's plastered on the side of his head instead of sticking straight out like Thor's helmet, or his old school helmet anyway. I don't know if they've changed that recently.
Thor's got an explanation. He's a Viking. Of course, they put stupid shit on
he can
him.
wear feathers on his head, but Captain America, yeah, I'm fine with them plastering the stars to the side of his head as opposed to sticking them out.
Yeah.
What about the stripes?
Stripes need to stay. If he doesn't look like the flag, how are you supposed to understand that he's Captain America?
The stripes are always necessary for Cap's suit. With that said, they sometimes screw up the stripes and turn him into Captain Puerto Rico, which is weird.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to see that Marvel hero. Captain Puerto Rico. Hey, is Captain Puerto Rico going to help us fight Thanos? No, he's busy fighting tornadoes and power outages. Again? And he's still just like Captain America level, so it's just a regular guy throwing a shield at a tornado, trying to get it to stop.
It's the guy who fought the tornado last year in Indiana.
Hey, I didn't fight any tornadoes while I was in Indiana. I got out before that shit started. I was there for like the 18 years there wasn't a tornado in Indiana. The only 18. Okay. So, here's one thing I want to go ahead and ask. Who do you think will be the first hero they add? Because they very much said the starter 5, they're going to add more.
I want to say Captain Marvel.
I think it'll be Spider-Man.
They're gonna add everyone's favorite Avenger, Venom.
You hush up now, Addy. But who I want is a different story.
Who do you want?
Clint.
Yes.
The entire thing I was going, where the hell is Clint? And the funny thing is the audience was vocally shouting, where's Hawkeye? I like how Endgame has now made Hawkeye cool again, so that the audience was going, where the hell is Hawkeye?
Right?
Where is
He's
my
in the game
ahead.
He's in the game, but only as Ronin.
Hey, you can mix both. Okay, you can make a great Hawkeye game, especially if it's going to be a shooter. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Have him be able to switch between bow and sword. Make him an assassin like melee DPS beast with the sword, or make him a crazy sniper with explosive arrows, ice arrows, all that crazy shit when he's got the bow.
Right.
Out of the Avengers, I think that Hawkeye and Iron Man would both kind of tie for being the most fun in a shooting environment. Iron Man kind of gets to fly, and he gets all different kinds of lasers and missiles, so yeah. Like, I mean, I assume this is a thing that I don't know if Addy will pick up Avengers. I don't know if this, would even be on his list. Addy, if the game turns out to be good, would you be interested in picking it up?
Depends on price.
It's definitely going to be $60.
Then I'll wait until it's 20.
So this will probably be a thing of me, Pink, and Soon. But, it's this kind of situation where, I want to say that I'd like to take Hawkeye or Thor as a character, but I have to admit, in a video game, Iron Man would probably be the most fun to play.
Right.
Especially because we'll stick you or Soon with being Cap, and playing as Cap might be kind of boring. Alright, you run around and throw your shield at people. Have fun. Addy, what did you think of Watch Dogs Legion?
It was alright.
Just alright.
Just alright?
Just alright.
I don't like how Ubisoft is moving away from linear storytelling.
I do.
But that's Ubisoft they should.
I don't think Ubisoft was ever much good at it. I mean, I didn't like them dawdling the line like they have for so long. if they just want to have linear Assassin's Creed stories, by all means, cut out the fucking open world. I'm sick of the Assassin's Creed collectathons. If I want to be there for the Assassin's Creed story, I want to be there for the Assassin's Creed story. I want to play a straight stealth story game. Like a classic Metal Gear. Before Metal Gear went open world too. Because
everything's open world.
Everything's open world. Of all the games to go open world, I never expected Metal Gear. Guess I'm 4 years late to talk about that controversy, though.
Even Mario's open world now, isn't it?
No.
I don't know if Odyssey...
Was it Odyssey open world?
I think it was only semi-open world.
I think Odyssey's a lot closer.
Semi-open world. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I think Odyssey's a lot closer to Banjo-Kazooie or Sunshine. Run around the world and collect the hidden things, and
Right.
I wouldn't really count those as open world.
But yeah, like in my opinion, I like open world games if they actually have things to do in the open world. Assassin's Creed for the most part didn't, because collecting is not things to do.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing here. If you don't like not having a linear narrative, the more a game has linear narrative, I think the more inclined it is to not have things for you to do after you finish the game. Because I said the more linear a game's narrative is, I think the less inclined it is to have things for you to do after the game's over.
Yeah.
I think this game, this game with dynamically generated story, the idea is to try and keep the dynamically generated stories going on. I mean, assuming that the end of the game is you taking down the government, right? You'll still probably you'll probably still have gangs and all them to deal with. Since evidently we're mixing now the rebel and the vigilante aspects. Which is a good choice. It's a good way to satisfy people who liked Watch Dogs 1 and people who liked Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
But yeah, like in my opinion, the narratives are better, just because if I wanted to play something with next to no narrative, I would play online games exclusively.
Well, the trouble with doing online games is that people online don't behave like people in stories. Whereas
That's my point.
You can train an AI to behave like it would in a story. Shadow of Mordor, the orcs behave in certain manners as you would expect an orc to behave. And you build stories around that. And sometimes you can build stories with people in, like, Minecraft. But sometimes people just go and shit themselves and build a giant dick in the middle of your city for fun. And people in real life don't do that.
That's what they want you to think.
I'm sure they would if they had the resources, but they don't.
But yeah, like I'm interested in the whole character thing. I'm not interested in the story because there won't be any, and that makes the game a lot worse. Not worse than 2, but still a bit worse overall.
Don't you hate people?
Yes.
Okay. This is what do I say here? This is kind of the trouble, like, of what Addy expects out of Ubisoft and what Addy has gotten out of Ubisoft for a decade now, versus the kind of game I've always wanted. Because, I mean, how many people have wanted an actual Punisher game, right? And, I mean, we got a good Punisher game. We did get a good Punisher game, but it wasn't open world. It was actually a very linear narrative game. Addy. But this looks like it might be taking a shot at that. But who knows? Watchdog also took a shot at it and missed. So, I mean, Addy, were you really all that invested in the Watch Dogs narrative up until this point?
No, but it doesn't mean that. The thing is, for me, half of a video game is a story. If it doesn't have a story, then it's worth just a bit. Like that's another reason why I don't quite like the Souls games that much, because yes, it has a story, but it's all in freaking text. And if I wanted to read it, from what I heard most of it is in text.
The lore is in text. Lore and story are very different things.
Okay. Then I resent that statement until I actually freaking play through a Souls game. But
I've been spoiled on the Dark Souls 1 story. It's very story.
Okay. That's actually good to hear that it actually has a story. That means that game is at least somewhat better than what I expected. But yeah. Um but like, there are games like Minecraft. Minecraft is good for building and nothing else for me. Like sometimes I played it just to build shit and then turn it off because what else is there to do? And that's my issue with storyless video games, and also just the whole thing of me not having enough money to just waste on games, so I have to actually pick them out, cherry pick them. Is that I can't just go with a game that has no story if I won't enjoy it as much as if it did.
I mean, even games without stories typically try to have somewhat of an end game. Even Minecraft is like, eventually you beat the Wither, and that's the end game.
Eh,
I mean, that's not really what we were aiming for when we did Minecraft. And past a certain point, we got the feeling that like it was just getting too awkward for us to work with. But Minecraft very much did have an end game. I mean, Minecraft's end game isn't as solid as Terraria's. Terraria, like the building is there, but the building is, at the side, and the real objective of Terraria is go get those bosses.
yeah.
But
whole-
I'm sure this
yeah.
will have an end game of like not only take out all the government facilities, and presumably there will be a leveling system, right, for the individual people you get. There
Yeah.
have to
But
be. Reach the level cap with
Good.
each of the characters, that kind of thing.
But those are not good and real goals for me. Because, like, yes, I grind shit in freaking Spider-Man, for example, to get better moves, but I want to get better moves so I can use them during actual fights in the story. If the game was just, you're Spider-Man, you deal with criminals sometimes.
I mean, the
And
thing
then-
about you only being, like, you're saying that you're pretty much there for the story, right?
More or less, yeah.
Well, the thing about only being there for the story is why not just watch a movie? Effectively, what you're doing is you're doing work to watch the movie if you don't enjoy the gameplay. You're just putting in work to unlock the next part of the movie.
That's why I don't play freaking games that I don't enjoy the gameplay of.
Right. So, and then sometimes you enjoy the gameplay, right? You're not entirely there just for the story.
Yes. A video game needs both to be balanced.
I don't think it
Your
necessarily needs both. There are some games where the story is an afterthought, and there's some games where the gameplay is an afterthought.
I say that they both need to be there and balanced, to say that, like, there are games where they obviously focused on one less, but that doesn't mean that the game wouldn't be better if there was a balance between the quality of both.
Well, I mean, you were there for For Honor. For Honor's story is very much an afterthought. It might as well not exist.
I know!
The story of For Honor is an excuse to get Viking, samurai, and knights to fight each other.
And I have the game deleted. Yes.
Yeah, you get to claim that now after you played the game for a fucking year.
But it's also different. I think I'd say that it's somewhat different because it's an online game, and the only reason it even has a story is because people freaking cried over it having no story, which I was one of the people. So, but still,
But you don't think an online game needs story?
no. If the game's goal is to only play against people, to be a competitive game, I don't think it needs a story. But if the game wants to be more than just arena shooter number 500, then I think it does.
But I think that being gameplay focused is not an exclusive thing of multiplayer games.
It's not an exclusive, but I dislike it when normal games that try to be only gameplay focused, because basically my issue with gameplay focused games is that a lot of times just being able to do cool shit or just being able to do things well is not enough of a drive for me to actually play the game.
But some games do encourage. Some games, the drive is to get better at the game and get so good that you can beat it on the highest difficulties and get all the coolest moves and all that.
You're trying to freaking move objective things towards my subjective opinion.
Okay.
Because I'm not saying that overall, objectively, a video game is of lesser quality if it doesn't have a story or anything, or if it's gameplay focused. I'm saying that I dislike it more, or I don't like it as much if it doesn't have a story of it, or if it's more focused on one part than the other.
I don't think I was ever trying to like think of objectivity unless you were like trying to state a game was bad simply because it didn't have much story. We're talking about your opinion of the games here. And I'm saying, like, you loved For Honor, and For Honor has had, like, no story.
I mean, they're trying to make a story now with the freaking new characters having shit, but
And Smite also, like, I don't know if you love Smite more than you loved For Honor, but Smite very much does not have a story. And I mean, it does have the mythology of the characters to build on, but it doesn't build on them that much. It just sets a basis.
But once again, these are online-focused games that don't try to be to make stories.
Right, I don't think it makes much difference whether you're playing by yourself against AI or whether you're playing with people.
In my opinion, it does, because freaking, I need to pick someone. Whatever.
Because I think the joy of games that are gameplay focused is competing with others and getting better at the game, learning the intricacies, figuring out strategies, improving your reflexes, getting down to muscle memory, getting better at the game. And if you're competing against AI or people, regardless, you're probably getting better at the game, presuming those people are good enough to challenge you. To me, I just don't see the difference between going up against competent AI or going up against competent people. To me, it's the same difference, you know?
Yeah, once again, it's just the thing of me not having a drive. Because, if I don't have a reason to do something, then I won't do it. And to me, just being better at a game to be better at a game is usually not good enough.
But you feel the drive to be better at the game if it makes you better than others.
Not necessarily, no.
Then what's your reason for trying to improve at multiplayer games?
So people won't flame me in videos if we ever get freaking watched.
But why do you care about those people and what they say about you?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know the reason.
Because, I mean, you can't go all through life just trying to avoid the criticism of others, because at the end of the day, there are some people who go through life with no objective but to criticize others because it makes them feel like their dick's big. Pink, what's your perspective on all this? Because we're kind of leaving you out here.
Yeah.
I don't know that I really have a perspective.
You just play the games,
it's hard to say. Yeah, I just play games.
Because, yeah, like I play things that easy and shit because that's what I enjoy. But whenever the thing of like, don't be a pussy, go with normal and shit like that makes me angry. And I want to prove them wrong, and that's why I improve. But that's an external drive that's not a game that the game didn't give me.
See, I think I'm just so bad at games that I don't care. I mean, the only thing that I've really ever played aggressively to become more competitive at is Rainbow Six. I played Overwatch before then, but even that, I was never competitive with it.
I mean, in terms of online games, like, yeah, there's a definite question of, am I popping this in just to kick back, or am I popping this in to get good? Because, I mean, there's plenty of games we each have of both of those, and I'd say it's differing cases. I play Rainbow Six. I've never been good at Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six is like alien to me. Rainbow Six is an entirely different language that I haven't even the slightest bit of learning in. So to me, I don't have much drive to improve at Rainbow Six. I try at times. By all means, I try, but it doesn't compute. It's not the way my brain works, But I look at Total War and I try to get better at Total War Warhammer. I try to get better at Vermintide. I tried to get better at For Honor when we were playing it. So it is weird to talk about how it works for online. For offline, I'd actually say I have the inverse with Addy. When people tell me to play on harder difficulties, don't be a coward, my response is to tell them to fuck off. But if... I don't know. Because there are some games that just get better with higher difficulty, and there are some games that don't.
Yeah. I know, yeah. game I recently played, Ultimate Alliance, that game does not get better on higher difficulty. It's just that the enemies become spongier.
Yeah, RPGs don't do difficulty well. Like, RPGs especially are the worst, and games that are like RPG adjacent, like Bioshock, similarly, like, they just make the enemies tougher, and that's it. But for a game like Devil May Cry, or what's the other... Oh, there's another game that's a really good example. Like, most horror games, really, like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, you usually are going to want to play on the higher difficulties, otherwise there's no point. A game like Devil May Cry is all about bobbing in and out, and Devil May Cry is all about getting good at the game and feeling cool that you got good at the game and that you're making these enemies look like a bunch of idiots for losing to you, and you're, doing it in extra stylish fashion. And that doesn't really lose its point when you're not fighting enemies. You're fighting dummies that walk around in circles around you and every now and then slap you, You want to fight tough guys so that when you beat them, you'll look like a badass. And that's the point of those games. And Silent Hill or Dead Space or Resident Evil, it's a horror game. You're supposed to be scared of the enemies. So if the enemies are wet socks that limply slap at you and take off a fraction of your health, then you, for one thing, aren't scared of them, and it doesn't feel like an achievement when you manage to beat all of them. Like, Addy, we're playing through Silent Hill 2 right now. What difficulty are we at? Normal or hard?
We're on normal.
Right. I specifically told you, do not put it on easy for the love of God, because Silent Hill 2 was outright insulting on easy difficulty.
No, actually, you told me to not put it on hard for the love of God.
No, I said easy.
I don't remember.
Because
I remember you telling me not to put it on hard either, just because.
No, I told you to put it on hard for puzzles. Because Silent Hill 2...
Ah, right, yeah,
Silent Hill 2 is one of the weirdest games in the world regarding difficulty, because it actually has 2 different difficulty meters. Pink, have you ever seen that?
I have not. I don't think I've ever played a Silent Hill.
So it has a difficulty meter for enemies, for combat, and it has a difficulty meter for puzzles. And I think you can actually set the lowest combat difficulty to just none, and it won't spawn enemies. Enemies just won't spawn.
What?
Yeah.
Well, do you still beat Pyramid Head?
Can you do the opposite? I'd rather face enemies than solve puzzles sometimes.
If you set puzzles to easy, you pretty much are doing that. Because most of the puzzles on easy pretty much are like there's 2 papers in a room. One paper says, what is the opposite of, I don't know, black? And then the other paper will just say white. Boom, there's your puzzle. But at the opposite side, on hard puzzle difficulty, you gotta go find 5 different ingredients, and they're all speaking metaphorically about all kinds of crazy shit with, like, flowery Shakespeare speech. So I do remember that when we started Silent Hill 2, I was like, please don't put the puzzle level on hard. Or else we're gonna be sitting here for a while.
On hard, you have to tell the game the flight speed of the Alien Swallow.
I was about to say, I was going to fucking say that for the easy puzzle, and I realized, wait, I don't know the answer to that. I just get flung into the abyss.
Yeah, it depends. Is it the European or the African swallow? That's the answer.
Well, the wild thing is, I was reading about Monty Python, the Holy Grail, after finishing that movie. European and African swallow are in fact the same bird. It just migrates between Europe and Africa depending on the season. That old man sure didn't know that, though, did he? What were we talking about?
Watch Dogs Legion.
Right. So, Addy, to you, is it more important that after having not particularly enjoyed the stories of Watch Dogs 1 or 2, would it be
I liked the idea of Watch Dogs 1.
You like the idea of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then what you would want would be a remake of Watch Dogs 1, wouldn't it? But they try to fix it?
I guess.
So the question I was going to ask you would be, do you think, would you rather Watch Dogs 3 be a new idea or try and redeem the previous ideas? But you've already given me your answer then.
Yeah.
But most people would be inclined to say, try something new because they've already proven they can't handle the old ideas. And I mean, the thing is, you gotta keep in mind here, Addy, is that it's Ubisoft developing it. They want to avoid politics. Quite famously, they have said they refuse to have any politics in their games. Which people thought was weird as hell.
I don't think that still fits, but whatever.
No, it fits. It super fits. I don't know if, like, you're in a different political environment over there. Watch Dogs 1, the idea of having a vigilante game, properly full-on vigilante game, is political.
Yeah.
In and of itself. So they could never focus it on it too much. And they're going to walk a very thin line here with Watch Dogs 3 to avoid politics. But I guarantee anytime you're going after the government, it's going to be because they were helping human trafficking. Anytime you go after criminals, they're going to be human traffickers. The only cases where it wouldn't be political, you know? Like,
yeah.
Because you remember all that shit with Far Cry 5, where people gave them a hard time because they had the perfect setting to make a political statement about the modern United States, and they chose not to.
I don't.
You don't? You weren't there for that?
I wasn't following Far Cry 5, so no.
Oh, it was a huge controversy, because when going in,
yeah.
It was all about a crazy Christian cult in Minnesota, very conservative Minnesota. So everybody thought it was going to be a commentary on Trump's America, and it very much was not. It was maybe a commentary on Waco, Texas, if anything, but even then they tried to avoid too much Waco imagery. And that's around the time Ubisoft officially stated they're trying to keep politics out of their game. And that, out of their games, plural. And a lot of people have been angry at Ubisoft for that, including myself. Because politics has a place in fiction. It's unavoidable, Addy. It is genuinely unavoidable unless you are trying to walk a very thin line. You have to take a side on several places if you're going to make a game that is set in the real world and mature and about bringing about change to the world, like it or not. Because, like, you just finished Persona 5. Persona 5 is pretty intensely political. Like, think of all the statements that Persona 5 makes on Japanese society throughout that entire game. That's a game that pretty much is saying, Japanese society sucks, man. This stuff is the shit. And then the problem is the marketing team was like, hey, can you make On sexy, though? So the game then refutes its own damn statements by being like, objectifying women is bad, especially if they're underage. Well, probably not underage, actually. I think she is of age even in the States. But objectifying teenage girls is bad. And then the game objectifies a teenage girl.
Whoops.
This is one of those cases where we're going way off topic, but I'm glad with where it's going. Because this is probably the most interesting discussion we've had in 20 episodes.
I'm alright with them not taking a political stance, but that's just because everything is political right now.
Everything's been political forever. What the fuck are you talking about? It's always been political. Everything is politics. Everything. Your money. Your choice of...
We have presidents on the dollar bills. It's got to be political.
Your ethnicity. Your sexuality. The place you live. The rights you have every day. Everything is political. Your religion.
Excuse you. I am an asexual slime.
That's political. I'm sure there's someone out there like slimes don't deserve rights. There's someone out there who is going nuts for that. I mean, fuck, look at GTA. How long's GTA been around? Every GTA game is as political as it gets, and those games have been around since...
1999.
No, it's further than that. I'm talking like GTA 1. They didn't come out with GTA 1 and GTA 2 in the space of a year, did they?
96, maybe?
Because GTA 3 was 2001. I remember that.
That's right. 95 or 96, I want to say. I don't remember when the original PlayStation came out, though.
I'm looking it up right now. No, not Grand Theft Auto 5. Fuck off. Okay, the original Grand Theft Auto was 97. They released
97.
They released 3 Grand Theft Auto games in 1999. Why?
Needed the money.
Well, they were about to get money. Jeez. Alright.
Yeah. So,
hey, let's see. So the X-Men the animated series team has been apparently approached Disney. I don't think we've heard any news about whether or not the pitch was accepted, but pitched to Disney after 20 years continuing the classic 90s series and picking up where they left off.
I have no idea where they left off, but I'm all in.
Didn't they finish right? Didn't they legitimately leave it on a cliffhanger for the Age of Apocalypse?
Probably.
Like one of the most influential X-Men stories of all time. You know, not a huge.
so wait, it wasn't just the shitty broadcast schedule they had over here. They actually never did finish this freaking Age of Apocalypse.
No, they never finished it.
Because I remember seeing episodes of freaking time travel going like, oh no, the Sentinels are coming, and then the series just stopped being aired.
Yeah, that's how it was in the States too. Like, people were really pissed because we never got to see Apocalypse or any of that stuff. Even for someone like me who strongly dislikes Apocalypse, I recognize that's very central to the story. Having Wolverine become, Wolverine, Gambit, and Angel become the Horsemen, the Four Horsemen. Who was the fourth Horseman? Was it Longshot?
That's funny to think about, but it might have been.
Yeah. Because Storm didn't become a horseman until way later. Or horsewoman, I guess. Oh, we are not Apocalypse fans, are we? We are not Age of Apocalypse fans.
So, what exactly do you dislike in him, W? Is it his Apocalypse?
Yeah, I
the
think
blue lips.
I think his character design is quite freaky, including the Apocalypse. He just always kind of struck me as a shitty Thanos. There's parts of him I like, by all means. I like that he's an ancient Egyptian. I don't like that they've had him be like a mutant from the ancient past.
Just because I don't like any of the mutants from the ancient past.
Just because it fucks so bad with to me, the mutants were supposed to originate with Manhattan, with the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
The mutants were kind of like... The mutants are symbolism for basically everything in the modern era. Black rights, gay rights, all that. They're also symbolic of the atomic bomb to me.
Yep.
Because
I think that was Sunfire's original origin as well. He's a direct result of the atomic bomb.
Yeah, they're going to change that.
Mm-hmm.
That's another Magneto problem of, he started in World War II. How old is he? Oh, man, I hope they don't change Magneto's origin for the MCU. To me, Magneto has to be a Holocaust survivor, you know?
Yeah.
And there's been all
if ever they need to change his story because he gets too old for it, just introduce time travel.
That time travel, or give him like Nick Fury's anti-aging pills.
Right.
Time travel would probably be smarter though, because it'd be weird if Magneto had been immortal and was still a jackass. I'd rather I'd like to see that, yeah. Scott goes back in time again to do some stupid shit and accidentally grabs a Holocaust survivor. Oh, man, you know what would be good, though, if they did that? Magneto gets sent forward in time, and he's expecting, in the future, people will come to accept mutants, yes? Then he gets there, and they don't, and he's like, well, shit.
That's what kicks off his campaign. It's like, gosh darn it, you can't change in the 40 years I've been away, so now I gotta take matters into my own hands.
It's like a reverse Captain America, where Captain America got brought in present times. He's like, hey, black people have rights? That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse of that. Man, he goes like, same old shit, 100 years later. Well, time to burn it all down. Okay, how many of us grew up watching the classic X-Men 90s cartoon?
I
did not grow up watching it, but I definitely did probably watch the entire series later on. I was probably 11 or 12.
Okay, so you watched it like all retroactively when you were 11 or 12. Addie, what age would you say when you watched the 90s series?
Freaking 8 at most.
Yeah.
Like it.
I'm in the same territory. I'd imagine you watched reruns on cable, right?
Yes. No, I watched it on freaking like. It was so long ago that Fox Kids was a thing in Hungary.
Yeah.
We don't even. I'm pretty sure we didn't even have Fox at that point, but we had Fox Kids.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents didn't put in TV because, for one thing, they didn't think it was worth it. Like my family hates commercials with a passion, and
I can't blame them.
they get absolutely furious every time we have to watch Hulu because Hulu has ads and Netflix doesn't. And like every time, I guarantee you, like one of my family members will just go on a big rant of like, why are we paying for this if they show us ads? Oh, if they're showing ads, it should just be free. Oh, all that stuff, right?
I like your family.
Fucking stingy fucks. So I didn't have TV growing up as a kid, and instead had to watch what we got on VHS, and what we had on VHS was X-Men. And X-Men Evolution. I don't know how they got that on VHS, despite the fact it was still being aired when I was a kid. But to me, I absolutely love X-Men because, yeah, nostalgia. Those two cartoons are the ones I grew up on.
Right.
Yeah, the one other cartoon that I really remember a lot of, from the Fox Kids era is the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. It still hasn't been beat.
Radioactive Spider Blood?
Yes, I think that's it.
That's the two for 90s cartoon themes, isn't it? Radioactive Spider Blood and Fight the Dragon.
Yeah. No, we actually didn't even have Fight the Dragon over here.
Right. The theme was changed. The Fight the Dragon was only for America, wasn't it?
No. Fight the Dragon was the actual theme, I'm pretty sure. And then in Europe, well, not in Europe, in Hungary, because France made a new team for Dragon Ball, and we bought the rights from France.
The infamous French anime translation team. I have heard many things about them. Yes.
Yeah, so we bought the rights from France. So we got the French intro, but it was translated into Hungarian. It was.
Oh yeah.
So we never got Fight the Dragon. Instead, we got freaking Dragon Ball Z.
Zed. Somehow that doesn't have the same appeal as Z. Oh well, it's better you got that than the what's the Naruto theme? Didn't you say it was like gangster rap or something?
Ah yes, the German gangster rap Naruto team. Sakura the Beautiful. I don't know. Like link it in the video or something. I'll put it in the chat.
I will not make this cancer transmittable. Cancer was never built to be fucking. Oh, what's the word for when a disease passes from one person to another? Oh, brain.
Contagious.
Cancer was never a disease meant to be contagious, Hattie. Don't you open up? Don't you blaze new trails by making contagious cancer?
Here you go. There's Sakura the Beautiful.
I'm fine.
Think have you heard this?
I have not.
Okay, then.
I mean, how would I have?
Give it a listen. It's
after
great.
podcast.
You can't see it since we don't have webcams, but I was doing the fucking Daniel Bryan no gesture while you were posting that.
But yeah, like it has freaking. I know like 90% of the freaking lyrics, because 90% of the lyrics is just Naruto. Believe it. Yeah, believe it. Freaking.
They didn't translate that.
No, the freaking the thing it's the German intro, but it's all in English.
Right. You told me that. Oh Jesus.
And it's like it goes. Sasuke, he's really cool. Sakura, the beautiful.
Sasuke's not cool.
Sasuke, he knocks up women and leaves them at the altar.
Sasuke, he has 2 katanas, wears a basketball jersey, a top hat, and he smokes a blunt.
He doesn't even have 2 katanas.
He did on the t-shirt that I saw.
I see.
Oh, that's gotta be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in real life. Oh, Christ.
Uh,
So
anyway,
X-Men the '90s series coming back. First of all, best thing about that series, the theme song.
Yep.
yeah.
That intro was a classic. With that said, this is blatant nostalgia pandering. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a storyline that was unfinished, and I like the idea of going back and finishing shows that didn't have finished storylines. You know?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of shows that need it, honestly. Like, I mean, it'll freeze over in hell when they finish Firefly, and we won't hear the end of it from the Firefly fanboys.
Would you believe your eyes if 10 million seasons of Fireflies aired yesterday?
Nothing would change, though, because we still never hear the end of it from Firefly fanboys.
Yeah.
But I would be fascinated by this just for, like, would they keep the same animation style? Would they still try to keep it looking 90s Marvel-looking style?
That's what I was wondering as well.
And some of those costumes, those are old 90s costumes. Scott and Jean do not look like that anymore.
No.
And Rogue
thankfully.
definitely does not.
Rogue?
Look at Rogue with her 80s hair.
Oh yeah.
I actually really like her 90s design.
I
love the coat. I love the coat.
The 90s design is my favorite Rogue design.
The thing is, when you say that 90s Rogue is your favorite Rogue, everybody's going to think of that shot with her on the ground in Apocalypse.
That's precisely why.
And that fucking gif where they took the Wolverine petting the little framed photo and they replaced it with that. Oh, the only one better is when Wolverine is petting the photo of him petting the photo of him petting the photo. It's just insane.
No. The best one of those is when freaking he's petting a photo of Jean and Scott, but he's covering the face of Jean, so he's freaking he's looking at Scott.
And you get like that little semi-transparent overlay of the moment when he goes up and punches Scott in the gut.
Yeah.
This might be weird if it happens. It might not happen. By all means, Disney could just be like, nah.
Right. It might not happen, but I'm honestly really hoping it does.
What a curiosity. It would be good to see something with X-Men that has Rogue actually do things.
Who knows? Maybe if this goes through, Wesley Snipes will have his wish of returning to freaking actually be a person people know.
Oh. The trouble with bringing back Wesley Snipes' Blade is that Wesley Snipes is aged. And Blade's a vampire. So that doesn't really work out.
He's only half vampire, so...
The other half is aging.
So he's gonna be Dante from Devil May Cry. He's like, nah, you know what? I don't like my vampire half, which means I age for some reason.
Yeah, I mean that is pretty much what happens with Blade. Aside from the aging, we don't know that yet.
Blade can't just turn off his powers because he's like, no.
Yeah, if he doesn't drink blood for a long time, the powers just turn off. They're like freaking electricity bills.
One of the MCU heroes is just like, hey, so I've got like 10 criminals here for you to eat. We need Blade back. Don't worry, they're like half of them are rapists. What about the other half? Forget about the other half.
Don't worry about it.
It's just freaking like it's just Kiteman and his friends.
One of them just keyed his car and that's it. Alright. Hey, here's a little kind of surprising, kind of not surprising thing. Vermintide 2 is adding Versus mode, which famously was in Left 4 Dead. Yet another thing from Left 4 Dead, because Valve refuses to carry the flag on this one.
Somebody else inherits it now.
Yeah, Fat Shark picks it right back up. So you guys know about Left 4 Dead's Versus mode, right?
Yes.
Sort of.
Left 4 Dead's Versus mode takes a game that's ordinarily 4-player co-op and makes it 4v4. As 4 players take control of the survivors and try to get to the end of the level successfully, 4 players control the special zombies and try to kill the players before they reach the end of the level. The 4 players on the zombie side get control of all zombie types except for the witch, because the witch doesn't really work that way. Which, you guys know what the witch is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Vermintide will be implementing the same feature, but of course, instead of 4 survivors, they will control the 4 medieval badasses that are the Ubersreich 5, never mind that they're actually 4. And the other 4 will be taking over various Skaven and Chaos boys. And I'm very fascinated to see how some of this will work out.
Oh, but it's actually kind of what I said during, I think, the second recording of Vermintide, that I wanted a Skaven hero. This is basically it.
You get several Skaven heroes.
Yeah.
You want a ninja rat boy? You want a gun rat boy? A hook rat boy? I'm curious.
I want Mancatcher rat boy.
Yeah. Yeah, the most dickish of Skaven, of course. The fascinating thing here is the Left 4 Dead zombies all had clear weaknesses except for the tank, and the tank only got to spawn every once in a while. Like, I don't know if you guys ever played Left 4 Dead. Have you?
I have not, but I have seen gameplay of it.
So, boomers, smokers, hunters, all of them pretty much die in a single shot. Which means that when you put players behind the control of them, all it means is that they're smarter, but they're still pretty balanced. You have to play smart. Even though the characters have such strong capabilities, if you're fighting against actual people, you have to play it smart, or else they're going to shoot you before you even get to throw out your move. Vermintide is a little different. There's a much bigger variety here. There were how many special infected in Left 4 Dead?
2? I don't know.
No. Smoker, hunter, boomer, jockey, spitter, charger. Was that it?
Boomhauer.
If you exclude the tank, then that's 6 special infected. So how many are there for the Skaven alone in Vermintide?
Many.
Assassin, hook rat, rattling gunner, warp fire thrower, plague monks, storm vermin. Who am I missing? Outside of boss enemies, of course.
I
I assume they're not going
don't
to let
think
you
you're
play as
missing
the
any.
loot rat, because that'd be kind of hilarious.
Yeah, you carry your bag around on your back.
Your objective is to run away.
That's your ability.
Your objective is just go away. Leave. Find the nearest place to commit suicide.
You spawn off the loot rat and it just says, objective, survive.
But if you make it to the end, all of your teammates get more loot.
Yeah.
Because you get to keep the bag. And then there's the Chaos Boys, who have the Champions, the Chaos Warriors, the Tim Sorcerers, the Chester Sorcerers, the Berserkers, and who am I forgetting for Chaos? I don't know. I probably missed several types, but my number still adds up to 11. And the Storm Vermin and Chaos Warriors are a little different from the others. If someone plays a really good Storm Vermin or Chaos Warrior, they can just wipe the other team.
Yeah.
Like, especially if they decide to put it on champion difficulty level values. Because on that difficulty, Storm Vermin can kill you in a single hit. Can Tin Men kill you on a single hit?
No. Tin Man can't kill you in 2 hits, I think.
Okay, that makes sense, since Tin Men get to be armored from head to toe, while Storm Vermin only get the body.
They get to be armored.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very interested to see this. I'm especially interested to see what loot will be attached. Because they've confirmed that with the Winds of Magic update, they're going to make cosmetics easier to get. Which is important, because Addy, you said that cosmetics can only be retrieved from the highest difficulty level chests, right?
Yeah, there's a 5% chest. There's a 5% chance.
You got a
5% chances of winning.
Yep. 5% chests of winning. But you add my 75% chests, and you got 150% chests that sacrifice. Seen your choke.
So, With the highest difficulty chests, you get 5% chance of getting a cosmetic. You can also get them out of recommendation chests, I think, but they only get like a 2% chance or something like that, or like a 0.50. I don't know. It's
So,
something like that.
yeah, so they said they are adding an easier way to get cosmetics. I assume it has something to do with the magic winds. Which, have any of us been paying attention to what the winds do?
No,
No.
Nope.
I don't even know what the winds are.
Oh, the big update, the Winds of Magic update, which I don't know how much you have to pay for and how much you don't have to. I'd assume you don't have to pay for Beastmen, because that'd be paying for an obstacle. Pay to get your ass
Oh, thank
kicked by
you.
the Beastmen.
I mean, hey, that's basically the Tekken game model.
Yeah. But the Winds of Magic are basically going to be 8 variations to the formula that will change things significantly. Let me just go ahead and look up one of them. But they're going to be modifiers to the level that will change the rules of the level to a certain degree and will also change the loot and I think give you better loot. I'm right, Addy?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention to Vermintide DLC because I don't usually buy DLC at all.
Okay. But, yeah, I'm just looking it up very, very quickly. And it's not coming up as quickly as I'd hoped.
In fact, some might say it's coming up slowly.
Yeah, I'm finding a bunch of articles where they said they don't want to talk specifics yet. So, I believe I have, in fact, put my foot in my mouth.
No specifics for you.
Is there not, like, a wiki on this shit? Alright, I have successfully put my foot in my mouth. Let's move on. Hey, Persona 5 Royal E3 trailer. I forget, did this trailer actually say anything?
No.
Okay. Next topic. Hey, Hey, Dr. Sleep. So, we were talking about long sequel wait times, huh?
Oh, yeah.
How about a movie sequel 40 years later?
The shitting dude is the shitting.
Did you call it the shitting?
The shitting.
I'd almost prefer if you called it the shitting. So, after 40 fucking years, The Shining is getting a sequel in Doctor Sleep. I wanted to bring this up, like, Addy and Pink, you guys aren't particularly big Stephen King's fans, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to bring this up, particularly because The Shining is considered a hallmark in movie history and all that, and we all know The Shining scenes, right?
Right.
Even if you've never watched The Shining.
Yep.
So it's just wild to have a sequel to it 40 years later. And not only that, but Ewan McGregor playing an older version of the little kid is just weird. I mean, people complain about Hollywood not having any new ideas. And I'm just stopping my sentence there. This, look, don't get me wrong, The Shining leaves some serious questions, and Dr. Sleep looks like it's actually going to answer them. But with that said, like, keeping in mind, Stephen King puts all of his works in the same shared universe. It's one of the oddities of adapting a Stephen King book to film, is just that stuff is left wide open in the films that in the books will be explained by an entirely different book. Like, there's The Shining, and they never actually explain too much about The Shining in The Shining. It leads into, like, I don't know, Dark Tower, probably, because everything leads back to Dark Tower for King, right? But now we're getting a movie all these years later to fill in all the gaps. It's weird. Anyways, hey, Addy, what we got coming out on the channel this coming week?
Yeah. So, I forgot, so I'm checking it, because I set it up on freaking month in advance, so I don't have to set it up on live. Yeah. So, it's still loading.
Well, I just saw a headline saying X-Men Days of Futures Past could have been the perfect franchise ending. And what went through my brain is, yeah, for me, that is where the franchise ended.
Yeah, same here.
Right. So, on Monday, you're getting Solomon Grundy. No, you're getting versus Capcom Infinite.
All right.
Wait, wrong freaking thing. Your series.
Oh no.
Wrong slot. That's the other. That's the other thing that we're releasing. By the way, yeah. On Monday, you're getting Silent Hill Part 2. That's the actual thing you're getting. Yeah,
What are we
on
getting?
Friday. Silent Hill Part 2.
Ah.
Silent Hill 2 Part 2.
Yeah.
Episode 2, featuring 2 Pyramid Heads and 2 James. It's going to be a tag team match, playa.
Oh man.
And then on Friday, you're getting Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I think it's it was all 3 of us. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I.
And Pink
Yeah?
wins 2 matches. Pink, what do you have to say about
Yes,
your
I
victory?
do. I worked very hard for it.
Would you like to thank anyone?
I'd like to thank my mom.
Okay. Good work, Mama Pink. You ranged a victor right there.
But also,
I'd raise your arm if I was there, but
there's
I'm not there where there's like a country between us, so I can't.
there's also a special video that's coming out, like I think 2 hours after this one.
Oh, a special video. I'm excited. I was probably there to record it, but I forget which one you're talking about, so I'm excited. It's a surprise even for me.
It is the second part of a series that is not tied to a game. It is FOS doesn't play Absolver.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
Because it
Wait,
was
are all
really-
the E3 episodes out officially, or are we saving those for some reason?
What?
Are all the
Yes,
E3 episodes out officially?
Oh no, I didn't have the time to edit them, so they're coming out next 2 weeks from now or something.
2 weeks later, when E3 is no longer relevant.
Striking the
Yeah.
iron while it's cold.
I mean, shit, if you want to edit them together, I can give you. You have the raw footage for the ones that I didn't have anything for. So
Do we really need someone to edit just to cut it down to Watch Dogs and Avengers? No, that we had a couple good moments outside of that. There was a great moment Soon and I had in Square Enix. Oh yeah, and Soon was there. It's wild. After us talking about him on the podcast a lot, he was actually there. So if you want to actually figure out who this Soon guy is that we keep talking about, go watch our
Yeah.
E3 videos, nerd. You, singular nerd, our biggest fan.
Our only fan.
or biggest nerd.
Our biggest nerd, yes.
Ah, man. Alright. Pink, you got anything coming out on your channel in the coming week?
I actually just uploaded a video today.
Sweet.
A video that basically explains why Warden sucks in Rainbow Six Siege, and he was a big mistake.
I wouldn't call him a mistake.
No, he isn't a mistake. I might have stuff coming out on my channel later this week. I don't know. I have to look into that.
Alright.
Aside from that, no, I would say I do not.
Addie, you got anything coming out on either of your channels in the coming week?
Did I have any time to record shit? What do you guess?
I would guess finals.
Yeah. My thing is literally on Monday, so at least what Monday is done, school is finally over.
Good luck, sir.
The best part is how I will have to freaking go and do the literature test without actually having any of the freaking topics for the literature test that everybody else got.
Ooh. Alright, well. So, Pink, what you been up to this past week?
I have been up to a lot this past week.
Alright.
You know the bank.
Yes.
Did you use that
no.
bank to pay for a Netflix subscription so you could watch Good Place?
I actually didn't have any time to watch
Good
Good
Place.
Place.
Yeah, you're doing a one-man show. I'm laughing too hard at my own stupidity to finish the joke. You're doing a one-man show remake of The Good Place, even though the series isn't even finished airing yet.
I know all the spoilers, though. I'm finishing it for them. But yeah, I recorded NHL 19 Figure if I download that to my Xbox, I might as well get some use out of it. And I've probably need to uninstall it now because I don't think I'm ever going to touch it again.
You are a hockey
let's
fan,
see.
are you?
I enjoy hockey. I have no idea what the rules are, and I don't watch any sport really.
So you are with hockey
So-
what I am with basketball.
Yeah, I'm a casual ass fan.
Don't even intentionally just watch games. But if there's a game going on, I'll sit down and be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Something curling.
A real man sport.
Every time you mention curling, Addy, I think of a stupid 2000s era comedian. What was his name? Pink, you know him too. He was the impressionist that did the impression of Bush.
Dana Carvey?
No. I said stupid ass. No,
I was thinking of Jeff Dunham.
Dana Carvey is kind of stupid ass. No, Jeff Dunham is even more stupid ass. No, Frank Caliendo.
Ah, yes.
Frank Caliendo, I remember since when I was a kid, I always tried to listen to stand-up routines on Pandora, because Pandora used to be a thing, believe it or not. People used to listen to music without consent, would you believe it? But one of the Frank Caliendo routines, he does a impression of John Madden, which, Addy, do you even know who John Madden is?
Yes.
Okay. He does an impression of John Madden trying to commentate on other sports. And when he tries to do John Madden commentating on curling, he just repeatedly says, curling! Curling! And every time Addy says curling, I think of that. I just hear this stupid stand-up comedian in my mind, SpongeBob style, just repeating the word curling in the stupidest tense possible.
Yeah, the best part is, curling is not only not even my favorite sport. I haven't even watched curling in like 10 years, so I don't even know what my favorite sport is. I know that it's something really obscure. So obscure I forgot.
Fencing?
And that's all I know. What?
Fencing? You seem like enough of a pseudo-fop.
No, not fencing. I wanna get into freaking kendo because that's just freaking other fencing. But yeah.
Shut up.
Kendo.
Yeah, bring it out to the match and wail on Mr. Sandman, why don't you? We want tables. EC Dub, why were you the worst?
But yeah, so it's not fencing. It's like I don't
None of
freaking
the
remember.
three of us are fans
Whatever.
of real sports because we're all fans of one fake sport.
I don't even like wrestling anymore. Dude. Like I can't actually say a good heart that I like wrestling anymore. I just grew so cold.
I still like wrestling. I just don't like WWE. The booking is just so bad. Alright. What were we talking about? Oh, right, Pink, you recorded NHL. So how's that hockey game, man?
It happened. I had no idea what I was doing.
I didn't mean to say how's the hockey game, but it just came out of my mouth. Oh, yeah, how's the old hockey game there? Did you have a fun time out on the ice there?
Who about the hockey game, eh?
Yeah. Did you beat them Osers at the hockey game? This is the worst accent possible, by the way. I wish we could have Mike here. We could have the genuine experience.
We need to get random here because he's actually Canadian.
Goku's Canadian, Mike's Minnesotan, and we'll have the two of them hockey it out.
Michael!
I started Michael, and then I cut myself off at the worst possible place.
Mike is now freaking like no Western Hatsune Miku.
Shut up.
Hatsune Miku.
You're all idiots.
I can't read.
All right. How about the hockey? I don't know. Did you get put in the penalty box?
I did multiple times.
Congratulations, I'm proud of you.
I tripped so many people.
Mission
They
accomplished.
never saw it coming.
Oh, man. Anything else that isn't hockey?
Let's see. I played a lot of stuff with you guys. I don't remember what it all was.
Let's see. Astroneer, Rainbow Six Siege.
We did Astroneer, Rainbow Six. We did Fallout.
Fallout.
That was exciting.
Oh, what did we do on Wednesday? Thursday. We did something else the day we did Rainbow Six Siege, and it was something very funny. Sea of Thieves.
Yes, Sea of Thieves.
That's right.
I wouldn't say it was very funny, but sure.
I laughed my ass off at a certain part.
I spent the game getting yelled at by YouTube for being drunk again.
That was your own fault.
It was not as bad as the first one. And to be fair, this thing was different. First one, you were just drunk all the time and therefore useless. This time, you're only drunk some of the time. But when you were drunk, you puked on us. Thank God you found that little boat to preoccupy you.
All but one time was actually on not on purpose. One time I did actually puke at you on purpose. But
oh, if only that game had a puke button.
It goes full poster because it has a piss button. You just pull out your dick and you piss some people, give them 4 showers.
Okay, so what?
The R. Kelly experience.
Yeah,
you can see him too.
We got you fill out the full pantheon here. You got Postal with pissing. You got Ark with shitting. Is there any game that did have a puke button? I guess Mortal Kombat has every time Boraicho has been in the game.
Yeah. And then there's also that shitty board game they removed off of Steam that had freaking visual masturbation.
What?
That actually, I think it was something about House Party or something.
I remember that.
Then,
I watched Achievement Hunter play through that game. That game is, That game is just porn.
And it's basically a game where... Yeah, it's a game where you try to get laid, but if you don't get laid, you can just go into the bathroom and jerk off in the game.
I mean, you can do both. Then. The guys I was watching did both. That game was trash.
Yeah. So there's that as well.
That's a full pantheon you got right there. The full pantheon of, we put it in M for mature sticker on this game to hide the fact that we're actually very, very immature.
Yeah, the last thing we need to fill out the pantheon is a freaking just drips not button.
It needs to be there are some games where it needs to be changed from M for mature to M for Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah. and for MacFarlane.
Well, then people get confused with Todd McFarlane. I mean, I don't think he deserves to really be lumped in there. He had some good years on Spider-Man. Oh, man. Alright. Hey, Pink, other than playing NHL and playing those games with us, which are going up on the channel.
In a year.
Yeah.
In a year.
We're stockpiling them up for the winter.
From all that, I watched a lot of E3 stuff. I missed out on probably a lot of E3 stuff as well.
How'd you feel about the Dragon Quest Hero and Banjo?
I'm mildly excited for Banjo. I've never played a Banjo game in my life, but he could be a fun character.
It's on Game Pass, I'm pretty sure.
I
all
actually
of his games.
The Banjo games for some reason. They gave it to me for free once.
All right. With Rare Replay. I also have it with Rare Replay.
Yeah.
Oh, they gave out Rare Replay for free?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
For like the first year Game Pass was a thing, they gave us Rare Replay or something.
It was like something with Mixer, a promotional thing with Mixer.
Yeah, it was a promotional thing with Mixer.
Oh,
like 2 years ago.
I want Rare Replay. That's a shit ton of games in one package.
Most of them are freaking abstract CPC games.
Yeah, but there's also Banjo. And Killer Instinct. And did they have the original Perfect Dark on there?
Yes.
Oh, I want to play the original Perfect Dark. Oh, damn it. They gave it to the one person out of our trio who would actually... They gave it to the 2 people out of the trio who wouldn't appreciate it. Fuck. They could have gave it to me. I'd have appreciated them. But no, they gave it to you guys. And you guys were like, garbage. Threw it in the trash.
I've played a bit of Conquer. And that's about all I did.
Of course Conquer's the one you'd pick out of those games.
I actually played all of the... I have played all of the Banjo games, I didn't play through them.
Why would you
But-
start
but it-
Banjo-Tooie when you haven't finished Banjo-Kazooie? And why would you why would you start Nuts and Bolts, period?
Nuts and Bolts is actually the only one I've played through.
Why?
I don't know, car building. It was painful, but I did it.
You poor unfortunate soul.
Oh, man.
But yeah, like at least Banjo-Kazooie made me realize that I hate collectators. And 3D and most 3D platformers.
I mean, the thing about it being like a collectathon is, at the end of the day, each collectible is presenting a different obstacle that you need to beat. When I think collectathons, I think games where getting the collectibles is a monotonous affair. But if getting each collectible is actually a whole different, like, gameplay obstacle, then it's interesting. It's different.
Not for me. For me, it's not. For me, I already had bad experience with the Assassin's Creed, so it was like, it's a collectible, so no.
Right, but Assassin's Creed, most of the collectibles are, hey, it's a box in a shed, go get it, loser. Whereas here, it's like, okay, it's on top of a spiraling hill, and also there's like five different things trying to kill you on your way up, go get it. It's like, alright, something different. Oh, this one you have to use Kazooie as an assault rifle as she shoots eggs out. And fight a giant gorilla who's slinging coconuts at you.
Who's thinking coke at you? Just piles and piles of cocaine.
I need to play Banjo-Kazooie now.
There's one part where you turn into an ant and have to swim through like an acid maze or some shit. That game is wild. I should go back and finish it sometime.
But yeah, I just don't find the like whether or not it's put in an interesting place. I just don't find the premise of collecting shit for the sake of collecting shit so you can continue interesting.
But story-based games do the same thing, except that they'll put a cutscene in place of the collectible. But still, like, here's a new obstacle, beat it, get to the next checkpoint, you'll get a cutscene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't need my opinion to be freaking level. It's not objective. I can dislike the old implementation of the thing that I don't dislike right now. I don't like Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah, but that's not what they changed for Assassin's Creed 2. Whatever. Hey, Pink. You talked about E3, right?
Yeah.
So how about the Dragon Quest hero, huh? You got an opinion on him?
I wish there was somebody else.
Yeah. Who do you wish it was? Don't say Waluigi.
Ivy Valentine.
Ivy Valentine. That's still a harder pull.
And I'm still willing to settle for Nightmare. But still,
I'm willing to settle for Nightmare.
not going to happen.
I'd definitely take Nightmare over Dragon Quest Hero. I'd take most video game characters over Dragon Quest Hero. Even from franchises that I don't play. Like, I'd take Lara Croft over her any day, but Lara Croft's never actually been on a Nintendo console. Has she?
I don't think so.
She was Sony exclusive for a while there, wasn't she?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now she's Xbox first for some reason? What a weird series.
She's Xbox first, but she's Xbox burst, but only in her on her choke me daddy's phase.
Addy, shut the fuck up. The Alright. Anything else, Bank?
Only the other thing I did was play Rainbow Six because they got their new season out. As I stated earlier, I made a video on why Warden is a terrible operator. Nook, on the other hand, is actually very good, despite her overall weak weapon selection. I think for her, she's in a Sombra situation.
A Sombra? She's in Sombra?
She is located directly in Sombra.
We gotta go in the journey to the center of the Sombra to save Nook, and I assume Pink is just dead.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So what do you bet that like 12 minutes after her announcement, there was already art exploring all of her nook and crannies.
There was art of her before her announcement. It's called Sadako porn, I'm sure. Look, a female character exists in a form of fiction. Somebody is jerking off to her right now.
Yeah. Hell,
What?
with how reality is, sometimes they don't even need to be fictional for that.
When did I get dropped?
Oh, people jerk off to real people all the time. It's a disturbing amount. Anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
Pink, you got dropped around the time that you said Nook was inside Sombra.
That's not how it was supposed to come out, but okay. Nook is... I was saying she was very similar to Sombra because her ability has the potential to be very overpowered if she has a more powerful gun.
But she's only invisible to cameras, right?
Right, but her ability also makes her very silent.
Ah. So now there's no reason to play as Kavira, is what you're telling me.
Well, Nook is an attacker.
Oh, right. Fuck, I forgot.
Yeah, look is the big Kavira.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, before you started talking, I'm glad you started talking because I was going to say quite possibly the dumbest thing yet. So I was going to say she's basically Vigil on attack, right? But my brain got confused because we kept calling Vigil Virgil on accident. And then it got double confused because with Devil May Cry, people sometimes will call that reboot Virgil Virgin to make fun of him. So I nearly said, so Nook is basically just Virgin on attack, right? And that would have been very confusing for everyone involved. Like, man, I don't want to know. What she does in her spare time is her problem, not mine. Which is funny, because then after you left, me and Addie started talking about the possibility somebody's already made porn of Nook.
No, I was trying to make a fun, but I'm not sure if you picked up on it.
I did. Pink, just start. Just keep talking, Pink. Just keep talking.
I didn't do anything else that I can recall.
Pink just starts crying. I didn't do anything. I didn't do it. I did not. Anyway. Now that we're done with that.
Now that we're done with the Avengers of the Avengers of Nook and Virgin. Help! Oh God, Addie, just go, Addie.
There.
Blow it out your ass, God.
Right. So, I sorted and finished God of War.
God of War. Alright. So, what'd you think, overall?
Overall, I liked it better than the third game, which is the only other one I played.
Not a high mark to pass, I'd imagine.
Actually, I technically played the first one, but I didn't finish it because I loaned my PS2 to my sister and the God of War CD got lost to eternity.
I just imagine a Marvel God Eternity coming up and stealing your God of War disc.
This is mine now, thank you.
Okay. Best moment in the game.
Best moment.
Mimir. Hey, we forgot to do the topic thing again, but fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and mark down a timestamp right now for when the spoilers begin, and let's go ahead and just say open country or whatever the word is on spoilers.
Open mic, yeah. All right.
Starting at now.
Okay. Favorite moment. Mimir's death.
Well, I mean, does that really count? Well, I guess he does just get resurrected, doesn't he?
Yeah. So basically the whole character of Mimir. But if you want to go for a more serious thing, then I guess the reveal at the end.
That one's pretty hard. I wish I could say I went in on that one. I was spoiled on it beforehand.
And I was like, well, people said that it's Uller, or it's possibly Uller, so maybe it's just a thing where we will see Atreus grow up to be Uller or something. And we will see Atreus to grow up to be someone, but that's not Uller.
No, no, very different.
In fact, it's everyone's favorite dead god from Smite.
Yep. Everyone's favorite god from Smite.
Yeah.
My favorite.
So, Pink,
Yeah.
do you want to play God of War?
I mean, if
Not
you had
like
asked
at
me
all.
before God of War 4 had released, I would have said no, but literally everyone in the world has said God of 4 is a fantastic game, and I've heard other people that shared my opinions on the previous God of War series that even though those previous games sucked, that God of 4 was actually very good.
So is it? So I shouldn't spoil to you who it is. Is what you're saying?
I think I already know who it is.
Okay. Then are you all right with getting spoiled potentially?
Yeah.
Okay. Freaking Loki.
Loki!
So I love how this is like, for people who watch the Marvel movies, this is entirely unexpected. For people who actually knew the Norse myth, like, they knew immediately.
Yeah, the thing is, Kratos goes Faye, and I'm like, that's an interestingly familiar name.
The thing
And I
that
couldn't
fucks-
figure it.
The thing that
Yeah.
fucks people over is that in the Marvel comics, they changed Laufey to be a man instead of a woman. In Marvel comics, they changed Laufey to be a man instead of a woman. So a lot of people assumed it couldn't be Loki, because Laufey is Loki's father, and Laufey's a man. But in the original Norse myth, Laufey's a woman.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the Norse myth, they never mention who Loki's birth father is.
I think they do.
Well,
Because
he's mentioned
Kratos
to be
is
a-
named-
It would have to. Who
Yeah.
is Thor? Not Thor. Odin's father.
No, it's not Ymir. It's definitely not Ymir.
Well, he's treated as a very minor person. I know that for sure.
Yeah, he's a very minor person. Like, he's actually genuinely on Kratos level. So it's actually fun. It's funny how they made that guy just be Kratos. Genuinely.
It fit in. The puzzle pieces fit in.
Yeah. But-
Which creates the weird situation of Kratos actually fits better into the Norse pantheon than he did into the Greek pantheon.
Yeah. But yeah, after the reveal, the whole character arc that Atreus went through actually made a lot more sense.
Uh-huh. Boy, this kid's kind of a dick. Oh. Oh no.
Honestly, at first I thought he was just basically small Kratos, and that's why he was shit.
Okay. So
Yeah.
was the craziest moment of the game. The craziest moment of the game to a lot of people is understandably that last Baldur fight, right? Because that last
Yeah.
Baldur fight is positively nuts. To me, the most nuts moment of the game is when Thor's dipshit coward son starts zapping Kratos, and fucking Atreus starts doing Kratos' rage mode powers.
Ah, yeah.
That was the craziest. Because
No, actually,
with Kratos' powers will be unstoppable.
But you know the thing that I just realized.
What?
Loki's often depicted as having daggers. The freaking blades of chaos will go to Loki.
Oh, you're right. Well, that maybe
I hope it's what they go with, because it would be freaking nuts.
God of 5 or God of 6 has to end with, or whenever Kratos dies, Atreus needs to take up the Blades of Chaos and take up the path of vengeance, and we just watch Kratos die inside and see that he has completely failed to prevent Atreus from becoming him.
Yeah.
Just let Kratos die a sputtering failure wreck as payback for all because Kratos has turned around and become a good person as of God of 4, but that doesn't change the fact that he did truly awful things in Greece. So I feel
And
like
then
even though he's redeemed himself as a
Yeah.
person, Kratos still needs to be punished for what he did in Greece, you know?
Yeah. And then Loki goes and kills the Shinto gods. because we know that they exist in the God of War universe, so
I think they've said that that they'd rather do the Aztec or Egyptian pantheons after they're done with Norse.
Then they'll probably go to
Go Aztec.
Egypt. They'll probably go Egypt because that's the one they had references to in Tyr's Vaults.
Tyr's Vaults referenced all of them. If you look around, all of them are referenced. You've got shit where, like, a vase that says, Tyr went to Japan and he met Susanoo, and they all thought they were cool dudes, and they, like, had a arm wrestling match, bro. And then the one right next to it is, oh, here's a picture of good old Tyr going over, and he's, like, getting into a brawl with Hercules, and they beat the hell out of each other, and it was sweet, bro. So Tyr's kind of our universe mixer right here.
Yeah. Tyr is to blame for all of the ships.
Yeah. So
whenever you read a shitty fan fiction where Sonic has sex with freaking, I don't know, Clara Croft, just blame Tyr. It's his fault.
Tyr was a man of peace, and we have destroyed his legacy.
Yeah.
When the other Norse gods got jealous and killed Tyr, it was because Tyr was getting in the way of their Sonic and Lara ships.
Yeah. Odin kills himself on Yggdrasil to reveal the knowledge of bad ships to the humans.
That's why Zeus has been torturing fucking, who's the Titan that gives fire?
Orpheus or something?
Prometheus. That's why
Prometheus,
Zeus has been torturing Prometheus, because Prometheus tried to do the same thing.
Fire is actually a metaphor for shitty porn.
And all of a sudden, you understand why Zeus tortured Prometheus for so long.
Yeah.
Ah.
Because Prometheus made freaking smart porn dressed as Zeus.
At first, it's like Zeus in porn, and Zeus approves. And then they start bringing in Sonic the Hedgehog, and Zeus is like, no, even I have to draw the line somewhere.
But yeah, God of War, really good game. Mimir is the best character in all of the series. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't even care how, but Mimir needs to be in all of the games from now on.
He's gonna be there for the rest of the Norse pantheon. Because he's their tie into the Celtic. He's their tie into the Celtic pantheon. Because did you notice Mimir's not actually Norse, he's Scottish?
Yeah.
And he actually talks about, like, meeting Oberon and Titania.
Yeah.
So,
and I also noticed his name, so...
Yeah. I like that God of War's going to the fullest extent of, like, okay, yeah, just all the gods are real. Fuck it. All of them. I want to see a fiction that has all the gods be real, like Marvel or DC, and actually has the pantheons go to war. Has anyone else thought the concept of that
Smite.
Smite didn't Age of Mythology also roll with that idea?
Probably.
Yeah. I should probably look into those games. But okay. One thing about me not actually getting to have, never having actually played God of War, only watching a playthrough of it,
yeah,
is I didn't get my hands on with the combo system. But isn't the combo system surprisingly nuts for a game that tries to be so cinematic?
The combo system is really good for something that tries to be Souls so hard. because it takes the Souls game, it takes the Souls like movement system basically. And it goes, okay, but what if arcade? And so you get Kratos air juggling people.
It goes even further than that. You've got Atreus as your AI helper, and sometimes you'll look away from Atreus, and when you look back, Atreus is just air juggling dudes.
Oh, yeah. I've also done combos where Kratos threw a guy up in the air, Atreus jumped on him, shot him twice, kicked him in the head, jumped off, and then Kratos finished him off.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was nice.
You can do father and son combos. It's nuts.
So yeah, worst part of the game, freaking the Vaults of Ymir.
Oh, what's the Vaults of Ymir part? You're giving me flashbacks here, but I don't remember what.
The part that I complained about while we were waiting for Pink a couple of days ago.
Right. Was
with
that
all
not
with
the
all the
vault of
traps.
Tyr?
Oh yeah, Tyr.
You said Ymir. I was like, I don't remember Ymir being mentioned outside of that one time outside of the time
I-
Odin killed him.
I don't even think he was mentioned there, but not by name. If he was.
He was definitely brought up as like the father ice giant that Odin killed, and like Mimir and Atreus were like, "Wow, Odin's a dick." Most of the dialogue in that game can be summed up as, "Wow, Odin's a dick."
Yeah. I hope that the last game in the series is like they go to Yggdrasil. They're outside. They're in the freaking space where they go through the branches. Odin just goes, "You will never kill me." He jumps down. He already has a noose down out his neck. He kills himself, and then Kratos just collapses due to a heart attack or something. And then that's the end of Kratos and Odin. It's also lawful.
Okay, Pink, you weren't there for it. So God of War, the original Greek trilogy of God of War had a problem of Kratos was too unsympathetic because there wasn't really much justification for him to kill the other Greek gods other than Ares, other than just that they tried to screw him out of his position as Ares' successor, right?
Right.
Yeah, Norse trilogy's going the complete other direction. They were just saying, oh yeah, Odin's a huge war criminal monster that has been fucking killing people for very little reason for like centuries, and he's probably raped Freya, and he's like a horrible monster in every conceivable way. So they're going the complete opposite direction where you're just like, okay, I get it. When does Kratos kill him?
I just realized probably the weirdest or worst or best dying game that they could make.
Okay, shoot.
God of Warhammer.
God of Warhammer. Interesting. Go and fight the Chaos Gods. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Something tells me Korn would just be a huge fan of Kratos.
Kratos has to play for Vermintide. That's the game.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a different game altogether. Kratos is kind of the crowd control master, so...
It depends if he has the Blades of Chaos or not.
Well, he did for the entire Greek trilogy, so...
Yeah, he has it for the last, 20 minutes of God of War.
20 minutes?
Well, I say 20 minutes because it was only, the Walls of Tyr and the parts after, I want to say, or, freaking... Yeah, it's somewhere around there that he gets the Blades of Chaos, but it didn't take me a lot of time because I neglected the side missions, so...
Yeah, I was about to say, because, if you do the side missions, no, we're talking halfway through the game. Because that game has a shit ton of side content, and a lot of the side content actually has its own mini-stories. And decent stories, too. It's surprising. And still one of the funniest cutscene in the game to me is still in one of the side quests, so I'm sad you missed that. I'm gonna go ahead and tell Pink, because he wasn't there when we talked about it. So one of the side missions in God of War has a mission where you run into, the ghost of a bandit who says that his son killed him for, some gold or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Atreus just goes, oh my god, who could kill their own father? What kind of horrible monster could kill their own father? We need to find this guy. Anyone that kills their own father is an absolute monster. He needs to be stopped. I don't understand. How could you kill your own father? The camera slowly pans to Kratos' face as he just has the most oh shit look on his face. And Atreus is still ranting in the background, and Kratos is just like, fuck.
Boy. Just
Golly
boy.
gee, I don't know.
Kratos with his classic boy.
Yeah. I actually disliked that. I don't know how it became a meme. It was annoying.
It's because Kratos is such a dick. Kratos doesn't know balance. Either he's an absolute maniac who does whatever the hell he wants, or he's an overly strict asshole that expects everyone else to keep the same standards he does. One way or the other, Kratos is... Kratos. Either Kratos is Ares, or Kratos is boy. One or the other. God of War is all about him finally learning to be something in between, for once.
He wants to be Boy Reese!
Boy Reese! I actually aim to the sky every time I do the stupid Ares yell. At least partially.
You actually are yelling at Ares.
Oh, man. Alright, you play anything else, Addy?
Yes, I also played Spider-Man for the PS4.
Okay, so I assume you're taking the complete opposite choice I did, where I ignored the story to just go and do all the side content immediately and thus burnt myself out on the game. So you're going for the main story?
Yeah, I do a healthy mix of both. Well, I don't do a lot of side missions just because they spawn on the other side of the map, and I'm like, eh. But yeah, other than that, like I've already done all of the Black Cat stuff because I wanted her suit.
Okay, what's the suit you go with for most of your gameplay?
The Black Cat suit, because I haven't found a better one so far.
Now, what's the suit ability you keep equipped though?
It changes, but it's mostly either the one they give you, the basic one they give you, for with the new suit, or freaking the Sound of Silence.
What's the Sound of Silence?
It's not good, but it gave it the Noir suit, and I like its reference.
Ha! I think I always went with the Iron Spider. I don't want to say I went with the Iron Spider suit because I think the Iron Spider suit's lame, but I went with one of the ones that's similar.
Yeah, the one I'm interested in right now is the Velocity suit because it makes me this splash.
You know what? I think I went with the movie suit, the Civil War movie suit. Huh. All right.
Yeah.
I think I went with either the Civil War movie suit or the default suit because I just like. Well, I like classic Spider-Man red and blue, you know.
Yeah, I don't like the new suit. I would have gone with the basic one, but then I saw that Noir was unlocked at the start, and I was like, okay, I guess we're Noir.
Of course.
And then I got the suit that Black Cat. I wanted to call her Catwoman so bad.
She basically is. Can we stop lying about the fact that Catwoman, like Black Cat, is just kind of a slightly shittier Catwoman?
Yeah. So yeah, the one that Black Cat makes you. I'm going with that so far. I've also thought of getting the 2099 suit because I like 2099 Spider-Man the most so far, but
my problem with like Noir Spider-Man and 2099 Spider-Man suits is if I put them on, I'd expect Spider-Man to start acting like them, but it's still at the end of the day classic Spidey, you know?
Yeah.
No matter what, he'll act like classic Spidey. I just can't have Noir Spidey who's like, oh, hey, Mary Jane, oh, Daily Bugle, you know. If I have Noir Spider-Man, I'm expecting Nicolas Cage, like, oh, I got punched the Nazis, oh, yeah.
Yeah, the reason I'm not putting on I just remember, the reason didn't get the 2099 suit is because I don't like the back. Because they made it metallic, and it looks bad, in my opinion. And
can I be honest and just think that I think the 2099 suit looks bad, period?
How dare you?
I'd like it better if it was black instead of blue.
I don't like the blue. I don't like the all blue.
Yeah, I don't like the all blue either.
I'm a classic Spidey suit fan. At the end of the day, black suit's the only one I'm really willing to work with that much.
Yeah, I think that 2099 suit would look a lot better. Look how much better. Yes, it would look much better if instead of blue and red, it was black and red because, well, better contrast. I guess I don't freaking know.
You know what? I think we can all three agree though. Iron Spider's suit is hideous.
Yes.
In sync, even.
But yeah, actually all of the freaking Iron Spider suits that they have in the game look hideous because they're all metallic, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like there's also this other suit. I think it's actually the Velocity suit that looks really good on the top. It looks like it's basically Spider-Man in Batman armor. but then they gave him freaking leggings. And on that point you commit or you don't. And not committing is not a thing that I accept, so because like, you know, if you give me full on freaking battle armor Spider-Man top, then give me the full on battle armor Spider-Man bottom as well.
For suitability, I always went with the guitar, the Spider-Punk guitar.
Yeah, that's the third costume that I actually got, Spider-Punk. Because I was like, well, maybe it will make more sense if he actually wears a blue and red costume, since all of the freaking people who dress like him wear the classic costume.
No,
So
Spider-Punk's hideous.
Yeah,
The costume
Spider-Punk
is
looks like
hideous. I
shit.
bought it for the guitar.
I got it with the game. I didn't even get the deluxe edition.
Oh, right. Wait. No. You buy it with points in game, don't you? I didn't buy the deluxe edition, but I have.
Oh yeah.
I had
Okay,
Spider-Punk.
good. Okay, good. Yeah.
Exclusive.
What was pre-order exclusive?
I thought Spider-Punk was the pre-order exclusive. Pink.
I'm pretty
No,
sure
we-
it was.
It was? Then how the hell do I have it? I just got the game.
That is an excellent question.
Well, I mean, you have the guitar attack too, right?
Yes.
Okay, then I don't know what the pre-order exclusive was.
I feel like it was Spider-Punk.
It was Spider-Punk. I remember it being advertised as the pre-order DLC. But yeah, anyways, the
Confusion.
Holy shit, that might be the greatest costume variety of any superhero game ever. Even
Yeah, I like
Batman
the costume
Arkham
variety.
doesn't have that many costume options.
And also, you can actually use the costumes during the freaking story.
Yes.
Holy hell! What is this new idea? Which Batman came up with it?
And you can switch them on the fly too.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's nuts.
I'm so salty about Batman having all those good costumes and then being like, no, either you enter a cheat code or you don't play the game with the freaking costumes.
To be fair, you could use them in the weird little VR challenges type game, which was
That's
actually,
not gonna-
that was actually
Yeah.
kind of the meat of the game for Arkham Knight for me. I hated the single player, but the VR challenges were a lot of fun.
I don't count those as the main game.
I mean, they're pretty much the Bloody Palace to the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
But to me, Bloody Palace can often be the most fun in a game that's about the gameplay. You know?
Yeah.
Just cut the shit. Especially like with Arkham City and Arkham Knight, which are two games that were put in open world settings that did not need to be put in open world settings. Like, the Arkham gameplay works best in maps that are specifically built for that gameplay. So putting it in the open world kind of blows it.
I don't know. Because Spider-Man also is basically an Arkham game and that works, in my opinion.
Yeah, but in Spider-Man's case, for one thing, you don't have to stealth people with guns. Spider-Man can take on people with guns in a hand-to-hand fight and come out fine. Like, it's always an option to just melee your way through. And for another thing, I did think Spider-Man's gameplay was a little awkward because of the free roam. I did think it was really awkward having to get into the fist fights in the storefronts and on the buildings.
I didn't. Like, the storefronts maybe, but on the buildings, nah. I think it's alright. I think it works alright. I still take this over freaking having Freedom Souls gameplay. Like, if I have to choose between those two, I will take this 19 days out of the 10-day week.
Dare I suggest that not every game needs to be a free roam? Yes, I do dare suggest. And I don't think anyone here is going to refute that, are they?
Nope.
Nah.
There we go. Spider-Man definitely has something to gain from being a free roam, though, because the thing with superheroes is, like, you want tight gameplay so that you can properly feel like a badass and beat big challenges and all that. But at the same time, a big part of a lot of superheroes like Batman and Superman is them defending their city. And, roaming around their city. Batman, you want to drive around the Batmobile. Spider-Man, you want to swing through the sky. And unfortunately, we wound up with a shitty Batmobile, but at least we got good web swinging.
Yeah. The web swing, I actually didn't like the web swinging that much at first, but with the actual
It's Spider-Man 2 web swinging.
I didn't like Spider-Man 2.
Why? Heresy!
I just want to point out that I only played it to the Rhino fight, which is, I'm pretty sure, just a tutorial.
No, but it's very early on, that's for certain.
Yeah. I don't know, that game just didn't click with me, and at the time I played it, and I didn't have a copy by the time I would probably not dislike it. So I don't have any good memories of the web swinging being really fun and all that.
This web swing was a ton of fun, and the gameplay sucked ass.
Okay, so I'm not freaking stupid. Spider-Man 2 was bad.
No,
Overall.
it had the web swinging down perfectly. And it was a lot of fun to go and deal with the crimes for the most part, but the combat sucked. But not everything was about combat. You could go and get red balloons.
You could
What
deliver
more do you want?
You could deliver a pizza pasta directly to my cock.
Directly to your cock, yeah. Addy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you said you did the Black Cat missions, which means you're already farther than I am. So how far are you in the game?
I just had my first. Well, actually, I just fought off the first two of the Sinister Six.
Alright, does Shocker count?
No.
Because I did get far enough in the game to fight Shocker.
I fought Vulture and Electro as a team.
Okay, Electro's a weird first opponent.
Yeah.
I would consider Electro the strongest member of the Sinister Six. Wouldn't you, Pink?
Dr. Octopus on a different level, but
Yeah,
on a power level, Electro absolutely.
Yeah, Doc Ock's smarter by all means. If it's an intelligence contest, Electro probably comes in last. But in terms of sheer power, Electro's a nuke of electricity.
Yep.
If Electro really wanted to just destroy things, if Electro wasn't a guy with actual reasonable desires, New York could be fried. Is the Electro design okay? They always screw up Electro's design.
Yeah, I don't like his face, but otherwise he's alright.
They can never decide whether or not they want to go with the classic costume. Because the classic costume, he looks like a dumb starfish. But still, it looks better than every other design they've given him outside of the spectacular Spider-Man design.
Yeah, in this game, he's basically like electricity freaking BDSM Freddy Krueger.
Okay, so they're going Jamie Foxx style, huh? Did either of you guys actually watch that movie?
No.
I did.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I tried to like it. I tried to like it.
I wanted to like it because I remember I liked the first one. I mean, I didn't like it several years down the line when I rewatched it, but
I didn't like the first one. Lizard was a boring villain. I've never found Lizard to be an interesting villain. I've never understood it.
Lizard was my favorite villain in the 90s cartoon.
I love Lizard just because he's a giant alligator, so what's not to like?
I mean,
yeah.
Lizard's story would be interesting if it wasn't done by a lot of other supervillains. The tragic monster, you know?
Yep.
Because, I mean, Lizard does it, but, I mean, I find it more interesting when it's done by Venom or Harry. I mean, Harry Osborn, obviously.
Right.
Harry Venom.
Yeah,
you want to go with Harry Venom?
Harry Venom.
Wouldn't that be wild?
That's just super... Isn't that just Sabretooth?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's going to be one good thing about the MCU. We'll finally get a good Sabretooth. I miss Sabretooth. I remember when there was good Sabretooth. I remember.
Fond memories.
The X-Men gets sent to the MCU. Sabretooth is actually just a sidekick to Wolverine. All your hope is lost.
Addy, I don't know why every time this comes up, you're like, oh, the MCU will fuck it up, don't worry. And it's like, yeah, because the MCU has fucked it up along the way? What are you saying? Like, you're pitching this almost as if Red Skull was Captain America's sidekick or something.
No,
like,
obviously.
Cap's like, hey, Red Skull, let's go fight the Nazis. And then Red Skull's like, oh, yeah. And Red Skull's just got an HH pin on his shirt as they're talking. And a swastika. What were we talking about? Oh, right, Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, so
Spider-Man,
yeah.
he's motivated by the tragic loss of Uncle Ben's rice.
Yes. No, he's actually motivated by the loss of Uncle Ben's tomato ketchup or
No,
whatever the hell.
Michael. I was about to say Michael Sheen. I meant. Oh, what's Charlie Sheen's dad?
Michael Sheen. All right, let's go.
Who's Charlie Sheen's dad?
I
Oh
don't
shit!
know.
Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen. Okay, I got Martin Sheen and Michael Sheen confused for a second. Two very different actors with two very similar names. Martin Sheen, no, why? Okay, yeah, this is falling apart. I'd better just stop talking. Hey, Pink, you want to ask Addy some questions about Spider-Man PS4?
Yeah, is it good?
Yes, so far, yes.
I believe it.
It has a lot of freaking collectathon things. And by collectathon things, I mean there are 55 freaking just memoirs located all around the city, which is why I'm thinking.
Most Marvel games do have a lot of collectibles to find.
But yeah, that's the reason I don't actually go out of my way to get them. Instead, I just freaking instead I just pick them up during missions. Cause whatever.
Right.
But yeah, that. What else? The combat is fun.
It's free roam, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff happen in the city.
Yes. When you're just thinking about, you'll just hear police reports saying there are armed robberies and shit like that, and you can go and solve them if you want.
Ah. And if you don't go and stop the armed robberies, that's when your uncles die, right?
Yes.
You have an uncle meter that slowly decreases for every.
It slowly ticks down. Once it hits 0, you lose the game, and you have to start over.
No. Once you hit 0, you actually become Spider-Man.
You're just Peter walking on down the street, hearing about crimes that you can't stop. You just see on the news woman horribly butchered in back alley, and you're like, yes, one step closer to becoming Spider-Man.
But yeah. So the characters I'd say are alright. I really like how they did freaking Doc Ock. I actually like Doc Ock.
Doc Ock's handled very well. That's one of those cases where they don't even hide it, though. Like, I like that they didn't even bother to hide it. You walk in, and you just see him already hooked up on the Doc Ock harness, and he's like, oh, hi, Peter.
So, yeah. Villains. Who the hell is Mr. Negative Pink?
Mr. Negative was one of the guys introduced in Brand New Day, which means Pink would not know which would mean Pink would not know jack shit about him.
Is that why he sucks?
I wouldn't say he sucks. He's alright. He fits into the classic Spider-Man themes of being someone Spider-Man held very close who then betrayed him.
I don't like him. He was uninteresting to me.
I figured you would love him. He's bringing in the Yakuza.
He's actually speaking Chinese or Mandarin, I think. I don't know. That's why I said Chinese.
What do you expect? The developers to know the difference between China and Japan, Addy?
Yes.
That's asking a bit too much from them.
Yeah, so Mr. Negative's whole thing is, like, he was one of the... After One More Day, when they were trying to bring back the idea of single young Spider-Man, Mr. Negative was one of the new villains they showed off to show it was a brand new day for Spider-Man. And that was his whole thing, was he was like a person who corrupted other people, and I don't know.
Like, I like his concept going by his... Yeah?
You like Mr. Negative, because he created Anti-Venom.
I hate Anti-Venom, dude.
Oh, I thought you were the guy that loved Anti-Venom.
No, I say I love Anti-Venom because I think it's the stupidest shit, but I don't actually genuinely like Anti-Venom.
Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Negative is responsible for Anti-Venom, so enjoy.
Like I think I liked Anti-Venom's design when I was like freaking 12, but that's it.
Back in the day when there were 30 symbiotes.
Yeah.
Remember Toxin?
Oh yeah, didn't he get an action figure recently?
He got an action figure a long time ago. I got it at like
Really?
a Goodwill bin, and I remember I was like, hey, this guy looks like Venom, but not Venom. Who is this loser?
You know, with these names, with these names, we need to do a freaking video titled "Is this an ICP member or a freaking symbiote?" Like,
That would be a pretty easy That would be a pretty easy contest. Cause something tells me I know what Shaggy 2 Dope is. He's a symbiote.
yeah, he's a symbiote. In fact, he's the one who kills Venom. He kills Venom with freaking what's the Juggalos think about all the time? I forget. Whatever.
Fucking sonic booms, how do they work?
Yeah.
Ah, Jesus.
So yeah. Where was I? Right, Mr. Negative. I like his name, and I don't like basically anything else about him. I just thought that, like, the second I saw him, I was like, okay, he's gonna be bad. Turns out he was gonna be bad. So yeah.
It's very much classic Spider-Man the way the games handle it, because the game actually does finally handle it in a way of like, oh hey, here's this guy that Peter's really close with. He's like a father to Peter. He's turning evil later on. Like Norman, as soon as you kick on Spider-Man PS4, Norman is just in the streets yucking it up. Like, if you see those mayoral posters all over the place, and it might as well just have the tagline of Norman Osborn. He's evil with a big exclamation point. I love it.
So
Does
yeah.
Norman actually show up in the story at any point?
Not yet. I am waiting for the Green Goblin to show up, but I doubt he will.
They might be saving him for Spider-Man 2, yeah.
Yeah. No, they're saving you Goblin for Spider-Man 2.
I love Harry as the Goblin. Just don't call him New Goblin. Just call him the Goblin. I prefer Harry over Norman as the Goblin.
And also give him a better design.
My favorite run for Norman as a villain was when he was Iron Patriot. Because he was evil Tony. Or, well, more evil Tony.
Yeah, Tony was already pretty evil at the time.
Slightly less charitable Tony.
Yeah. Tony, who unironically appreciates Hitler.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've never seen a harder look at this villain. I've never seen a harder instance of look at how evil this guy is than that time in Dark Reign where Norman just looks at Hitler and he's like, oh, man, Hitler's awesome. We're just like, really, Norman? Really?
Hey, Vsauce, Norman here. Over here. Is Hitler really awesome?
Shut up. Admittedly, they have the same balding pattern. Has Addie's discovered secret deep lore? Is Vsauce the Green Goblin?
Yes. All of Vsauce, all 5 people who are Vsauce, are the Green Goblin at the same time.
No, one's Green Goblin, one's Hobgoblin, one's Demo Goblin. Who are the other 2 Goblin losers they've introduced in the last 20 years?
I remember one like female Goblin being in the one where Carnage and Venom fight.
Right, they turned someone wild like Carly Cooper or someone into a Goblin. No,
right.
Was it Betty? They turned Betty into a Goblin? Or was it Liz Allen? Fuck.
I don't think Liz has ever been a Goblin, but I could be wrong.
Everyone off Spider-Man's sidecast has been given superpowers at this point. They're all Jimmy Olsen.
Even Peter Parker has been the big Green Goblin at this point, Pink.
I mean, probably.
I'd love to see that. That would actually be an interesting storyline. Like, he has to go on deep undercover, so he gets Harry to loan him his old Goblin costume. And it's like a full-on Barry in the body of Lex Luthor situation. Spider-Man has to show up to a supervillain meeting and be like, "Hey, I don't wash my hands because I'm evil," as the Goblin. And
Spider-Man has
Otto just looks at him and says, "I always knew you were a cockbag, Norman."
Spider-Man has freaking Peter has to unbury the dead body of freaking what's his face, Harry, to get the Green Goblin
No,
costume
Harry's
because
back. Harry's back. He's been back since one more day. For some reason, when Mephisto, fetus deletus, the baby, he also brought back Harry for some reason.
Fetus deletus?
Harry was the baby. Yeah, fetus deletus is the birth control spell from Harry Potter.
That's not canon. I should just go ahead and note before that ruins the Harry Potter franchise for Pink.
It's canon. Depending on freaking what J.K. Rowling's mental readiness, it's going to be canon any day now.
No. That's not going to be canon. But what is canon is that they shit their pants and then magic away the shit.
Yeah, I know.
What was the joke? Someone on Tumblr once made a joke. Just someday J.K. Rowling is just gonna out of the blue be like, Harry Potter supports Israel.
Freaking Neville Longbottom is actually a member of ISIS. That's why everybody picks on him.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh, the podcast is going to good places when I reference a fucking Tumblr conversation about the possibility of Hogwarts Stewart's.
Stewie Griffin. Of Hogwarts Stewie Griffin. Just roll with it.
Fuck it. So, Norman Osborn is back. No, not Norman. Harry. God.
Norman's also back.
Harry's back.
They both might be back at this point.
We're all back. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
Even Uncle Ben's back. He's back from the grave with a vengeance.
Uncle.
Oh Jesus.
But he only kills people who try to rob people in front of wrestling events.
Macho Man's back. A single hand just rises from the grave, and the text on the tombstone changes to "Bonesaw is ready."
The text becomes an audio file if you press the headstone in it. It goes, "Ooh yeah!"
Thanos has defeated the Avengers, and Cap's like, "What? Look in the sky! It's our reinforcements!" And it's just Macho Man elbow dropping onto Thanos.
The earth shatters as heavens roll. Step into a simchi, brother!
As the earth shatters, a ring rises up between the cracks.
Yeah.
And there's just fucking Macho Man is there with Elizabeth. And he just points at Thanos.
Yeah. And then Ric Flair shows up with Terry Funk. They are actually the two people holding together the universe.
It has been foretold. We got Jesus, we got Lazarus, we got... Can we just say that? Terry Funk is Lazarus? Let's make that new canon.
Yeah.
We don't know that. He dies in the ring every night, but Jesus comes and resurrects him, and we don't even know it.
Oh, freaking hell.
We started with Mephisto fetus deletusing, and then we ended with fucking Macho Man as Jesus, and Terry Funk is Lazarus. That's an interesting conversation right there.
Yeah.
Pink, are you glad your family doesn't listen to this podcast?
I'll never be able to share this stuff anymore.
On a scale from 1 to freaking hide and raping Pokemon, how glad are you that your family doesn't listen to this podcast?
Oh, Jesus.
Freaking hell. What was I even going to say? Right. Murphy's story reminded me. There's this really shitty costume in Spider-Man PS4 that is just like basically anti-venom, but instead of the anti-venom Spider-Man head, it's freaking Ghost Rider with blue flames.
Right. Right. What is that costume's name?
I forget.
Because I saw someone put that on during a romantic cutscene with Mary Jane, and it becomes the weirdest shit. And Mary Jane's making out with a giant flaming skull.
So yeah, that costume sucks. I just wanted to point it out.
I refuse to believe it sucks. That sounds like the best costume.
It looks like garbage.
Yeah, that's why it's the best costume! Did you do anything else this past week?
Well, aside from the aforementioned shit, freaking, I don't think I did. I learned a lot of German.
Woohoo, German! Hey, I didn't play any video games or watch any movies this week. I just watched 2 TV shows. So I watched the entirety of Chernobyl, which has been super hot on social media, shocking everyone. Of all the TV shows to get popular with the common audience, this one? A ultra serious 5-episode miniseries about a horrifying real-life historical event? That's like describing multiple phrases that would turn off the general audience. Like, especially history? So, ultra serious without any fantasizing at all? What are you telling me that midway through this episode, George Washington does not show up and Shoryuken fucking Joseph Stalin into the sun? What am I paying you for?
Abe Lincoln shows up, but he doesn't find any freaking vampires, so he leaves.
Benjamin Franklin is there, and he's just getting laid with 5 different chicks because it's HBO.
Yeah. For some reason, freaking what's her face?
I like our idea that this is Russia. This is Soviet Russia, very much. Well, not Soviet Russia, Soviet Ukraine, and just the founding fathers of the U.S. are here for some reason. The founding fathers have just showed up for some reason.
Yeah. The founding fathers and the freaking the dragon chick from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So, hey, Chernobyl, it's really good. It's a very interesting concept because it's very much a horror TV series, but it's not fiction. So that changes things.
That's the real horrifying part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much do they have about the Russian sleep experiment?
About the what experiment?
The Russian sleep experiment.
None.
Good.
It is entirely just about Chernobyl. And the first episode is like, oh shit, the reactor exploded. And the guy in charge of the plant is like, no, it didn't. And everyone's like, it's right there, it exploded. And the guy in charge of the plant is like, no, it didn't. You didn't see shit. Shut up. Shut up, nerd, or else we're all getting shot. And then he starts projectile vomiting blood all over the place. And as he's projectile vomiting blood, he's like, no, it didn't explode. The reactor's fine, guys. It's fine. It's 3.6 Roentgens. That's just a chest X-ray level of radiation. And then they call in the actual scientist, and he's like, no, that's about 3.6 Roentgens. That's like 400 chest X-rays all at once, at every second. And that's also an undercut number. It's not 3.6 Roentgens. It's 15,000 Roentgens. Oh, that's bad. There are some characters that they go and they look directly at the shit and their face just falls off. Like, oh god, turns out the ghouls in Fallout weren't fucking kidding. The only part that was fictionalized about the ghouls was them living afterwards.
Yeah.
Those guys weren't even in the blast radius. They just looked at it and their face fell off.
The most interesting thing to me about the whole Chernobyl thing is the shadow people that they left behind.
What, the little old ladies that refused to go?
No, I mean the like shadows on the walls that got burnt into the walls.
Oh, they didn't show those off. No, it's all about the people who
That's-
Were there
actually.
shadow?
I don't
Were
think
there
that-
shadow people in the Chernobyl accident?
I don't think there were. I don't think there were. Because there were, like, in the actual blast radius, there were only, like, 2 people, and their bodies were never recovered.
Right. I didn't think there were shadow people. I thought that was only with Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, I might be mixing up my freaking Richter
I
things.
think you are. Like, the problem with Chernobyl was not the explosion. The problem with Chernobyl was everything else.
Plus
after.
radiation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, the fact that since it exploded, but it was already on a vat of, like, uranium and shit, right? So it just kept burning.
Yeah.
It just kept burning. A bomb, at least, just goes off, done. The stuff's going to be radioactive for a long time afterwards, but the bomb went off, done. End of the story. Chernobyl, it's still burning. It's like the bomb is going off constantly at all times. Only difference is there's no explosive force. It's just the radiation, which is worse. Because the explosive force will at least kill you. At least you'll die in nuclear fire. I'd rather die in nuclear fire than be like, oh, well, I didn't light on fire, but I looked at it. So in about 3 weeks, I'm going to die horribly, slowly, and painfully. It's going to fucking suck. Oh, look, my toe fell off. That's unfortunate.
But would you want to go out like the guy who died in Pompeii jerking off?
That was lava. That guy chose a poor way to die.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't think he was succeeding in getting off while his feet were burning.
Maybe that was his thing.
Maybe. So that's a very good series. Like the first episode, and to a certain degree the last episode as well, are very much horror, and to a certain degree all the episodes have that. Because there are some parts where they describe radiation sickness, like the guys that were too close to it. Okay, so let's see. Your skin sloughs off. Your veins burst open inside you. Talk about internal bleeding. That's internal flaying. As if that... You wouldn't think internal flaying could be a thing, but apparently it is. Oh, you just die bleeding inside yourself. And also, if anything touches you, it also gets irradiated. There's a character in this movie, a woman, her husband was one of the firefighters, one of the first responders, and he got closer to the fire than the overwhelming majority of people would. He gets it as hard as possible. By the time his wife runs into him, he looks like a Silent Hill monster, right? So she decides, oh, well, he's dying, I'll hug him one last time. Turns out, pregnant. Guess what? Baby dies.
That's not good.
Yeah, how about that? Like, this is a show that does not hesitate to show, oh, yeah, some administrator somewhere fucked up because he wanted a promotion. Like, legitimately, the story is, legit. The reactor was messing up because the night crew was in charge instead of the day crew, and they wanted to do a test, and if the test went well, then the administrators in charge all got promotions, right? Well, the night crew screws up because they don't want to do it on the day, because if you do it in the day, then you might interrupt the power needed to run the factories, because, you know, it's Soviet Union, there's a shit ton of factories, especially considering the Afghanistan war is going on at the time, so we need to manufacture lots of munitions, right?
Right.
So the administrators, they're all like, all right, we got to do this during the night, we'll run a test during the night. Well, the night crew, they're kind of incompetent, because they're the night crew, they're not actually really supposed to keep it going that hard, they're just supposed to keep it going, period. At any efficiency, right? So,
Right.
night crew screws it up, take it down to a value way below what it's supposed to. They take out all the control rods to try and get it to rise up quickly so that they can get up to the appropriate level so they can clear the test and the administrators get the promotion. And then it turns out, oh, well, there's a massive flaw in the blueprint. Turns out our emergency stop function, the brakes on our car, so to speak, the emergency brakes, yeah, it turns out we cheaped out on them. So the material they're made out of is actually supposed to stop the chemical process from
Reaction.
happening.
Yeah.
But we cheaped out on the material, instead made it out of graphite, or made the tips out of graphite, because we thought we could cheap out on the tips as long as the rest of the rod was the appropriate material, right? That makes sense. Cheap out on the tips. Yeah, it turns out tips made out of graphite. Guess what graphite does? It accelerates the chemical reaction.
Oh boy.
So they hit that emergency brake button, the whole shit just explodes. So because some administrator chucklefuck somewhere was looking for a pay raise, what was the number? The number was something absurd. Anywhere from like 30,000 to 90,000 people died. And they're talking about it. It's good that they got one of the few competent administrators in the Soviet Union, which was infamously poorly ran. If they had got one of the usual chuckleheads who try to cheap out on these kinds of things because they're looking for their own promotion and their own asses, then there's a good chance that everything east of Germany in the fucking Eurasia would just be uninhabitable for the next 100,000 years.
Oh man.
Including Hungary.
Yeah. There's
Whoopsie
actually
doodles! Whoopsie doodles! Sorry guys, our bad.
Yeah, there's actually thing over here that might tie into this, because here I'm not sure about how it was in Ukraine, but over here we had this thing called the 5-year plan. That was a Russian thing, and by 5 year I mean it's not much of a 5-year plan. Was just 10 years war, was 10 years war, 10 years war.
Yeah.
So basically, the 5-year plan was actually like something like 15 to 20 years plan.
What was it?
What
was this 5 years plan?
I don't remember the specifics, but basically what it made people do is there was shit like they would go to the farmers and they would go, how many kids will the pig birth? And if they didn't like the number you gave them, you got beaten up. So all of the freaking farmers lied, and so it was like, my one pig will birth 20 pigs, and it only actually birthed 6 because all of them died due to malnutrition. But 20 pigs. Okay, then we'll take 14 of those, or yeah, we'll take 14 of those 20. 6 will go to the administration, 4 we will get, and they basically made it so the farm, not only did the farmer get nothing, but basically only the administration got shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of that too. A lot of the situations where it's like, so the thing is, the scientist they send in, Legasov, he figures out, yeah, putting the graphite tips on, that was a bad idea. That like caused the core to explode. That's a big problem, guys. We should fix that. Problem is, he's not allowed to say that, because the RBMK reactor model was the go-to reactor model for the entirety of the USSR. There were 16 other RBMK generators running in the entirety of the USSR. So if he said, guys, we fucked up, we put in the wrong type of generator, he would be making the Soviet government look bad, which apparently is a big, big no-no. So the struggle of the later episodes is him dealing with whether or not he should, either let those other 16 generators continue to be incredibly dangerous for the entire world, or get shot. And, yeah, it becomes a lot about the Soviets and how they handled things like that.
Very badly.
Very bad. Very badly. But I feel like it handles it very realistically. It's not just typical American propaganda, rah-rah, Soviets bad. Because some of the people are portrayed as, like, genuinely thinking this is the right thing to go with. There's an old man who walks in wearing, like, a Soviet pin. And he's all like, well, first thing we need to do about all this Chernobyl business is we need to set up blockades at every road. We need to cut the power lines. We need to cut the phone lines. Make sure no one gets out of Chernobyl. That way, the civilians won't panic and spread misinformation about the Soviet Union. And it's like, well, no, you're going to make the problem worse, actually, and you will, in fact, be sentencing all the Chernobyl residents to death. But I guess in your little head, it makes sense. So, yeah, the show, despite the show is, based off real life. It's, in fact, an incredibly well-researched series. Very realistic. Yet, they still managed to find antagonists. Because our antagonists for the first couple episodes are the administrators who are still trying to cover up the problem and say the core didn't explode because they still want the promotion, they don't want to get shot. Problem being that if they say the core didn't explode, then that means they won't the crews that come in won't deal with the fact that the core did explode. And if they let the core continue to burn for 2 more days, goodbye Europe. And then the latter half of the series deals with the not only the political fallout, really, of like, oh, this might happen again. We should probably try to make it not happen again, but we also don't want to offend anyone. So it's a very, very, very high quality show. And it's very well researched. It's one of those shows where I feel like I can pat myself on the back for having watched it and praising it. And I'm just thinking, I am very smart for having watched this show. Right?
I'm just imagining you, but you like this, but with a like college hat on.
The graduation cap?
Yeah, that.
So yeah, Chernobyl. It's great. Go watch it. It's important for historical context. I would actually say that is a show that is important to watch.
Put up a timestamp.
Oh, okay. Shoot. All right. Okay. And
so, yeah.
The other show I started was another HBO show. So I'm striking while the iron is lukewarm and starting Game of Thrones.
The iron is dead.
Yeah.
The iron was broken in half.
The iron is...
Good God Almighty! Good God Almighty! That iron is broken in half!
That iron had a family!
The only thing keeping the iron hot is the pure anger of the fans. So, yeah, rough time to start it, I know. Particularly considering I've been one of those guys who's been like, I don't watch Game of Thrones because I have better standards than to watch your stupid knights and dragons and boobs and dicks show. I prefer my TV shows without gratuitous sex. Oh. And yeah, I got over myself and I did a big wiki dive and I talked about that last week. And I actually found the show interesting enough after I spoiled all of it that I was like, all right, I'm just gonna watch the show. So I started watching the show. Yeah, very good. It's a good show. I see why everybody liked it. It's a good show. It's difficult for me to say too much because I'm only 5 episodes in. But yeah, that's very much a cast of characters that you can clearly tell which ones you are built to love and which ones you are built to hate. Like, you guys, neither of you have watched Game of Thrones, right?
Right.
Yeah, no.
But there are certainly characters you know by word of mouth.
Joffrey is the only one. No, Joffrey, Hodor, and freaking Jon Snow. Those are the 3 I know. Also Daenerys, I guess.
I didn't know Hodor was a character. I thought that was a place.
No. Hodor is a Pokemon, basically. He's a human.
Hodor is the wetlands between Isengard and freaking the Black Gate. I don't remember enough of Lord of the Rings to make an actual good reference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Hodor is a human Pokemon. His thing is that he's big, he's strong, he doesn't know things. The only word he knows is his own name, Hodor.
He's Snorlax.
Yeah. And of course Hodor is everyone's favorite because he's a big gentle giant and he's Hodor. Hodor. And that's just the character. His arrival is announced with Hodor. And that's it. And I think it's pretty clear why people love that. And you can look around and you got Tyrion. And Tyrion, he's smart and he's clever and he talks shit to all the worst characters. So naturally when he talks shit to the character you don't like, you're like, yeah!
Why didn't they let Peter Dinklage have the throne?
Oh, you make me sad. And
why didn't they let?
It is weird because I know so many of the characters just from word of mouth about that show. And the funny thing is, I can understand why people would be mad at season 8 because when you tell me who ultimately sits on the Iron Throne, I'm like, I know 47 names of the characters, and I didn't even watch the show, I have no idea who Bran is.
The guy that Hodor carries, basically.
Why didn't they make freaking?
Why didn't they put Hodor on the Iron Throne?
Why didn't they put freaking Smog on the Iron Throne?
They kind of did. In one way or another. Why didn't they put Hodor on the Iron Throne? My king, we must know whether we want to go to peace or war with the Greyjoys. Hodor. Peace or war? Hodor. Our king declares Hodor. Yeah, Joffrey is Joffrey. With that said, I'm going in knowing that everybody hates Joffrey. So to me, like, Joffrey hasn't done anything truly, like, there are some things that are awful and reprehensible in real life, but we're fine with in the show. And there are some things that are awful and reprehensible that you can do in the TV show or real life, and either way, people are disgusted. Like, Joffrey gets another small child killed. And in real life, we'd be like, oh, what a monster. But in the show, we're like, oh, Joffrey, he's a little villain. He's yucking it up. So I'm not at the point where I hate Joffrey yet. I'm kind of enjoying that he's such an evil little shit.
That little rascal Joffrey.
Yeah. But with that said, I do know that Joffrey's going to do something really... I do know that Joffrey will do more disgusting things later on in the series. And my patience for him will run out around that time.
He will eat. He will eat.
He will eat.
I was going to say he will eat a used condom, but it just came out of
used condom. What the fuck? Where did you come up with that?
But the thing is,
where did that come from?
But it came out as he will eat a used condom.
He just fucking throws it at somebody. Sean Bean is like, Joffrey, you need to stop doing that. And then Joffrey just throws a used condom at him.
Yeah.
And it just limply slaps into his face and slides down his cheek. And no one says anything or does anything. They just all stand there while the condom slowly slides down and then falls off.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, wow, what a power move, Joffrey. And then Joffrey T-poses.
No, Joffrey does the floss.
Oh, that'd make it the worst. That'd be the worst.
I'm trying to make it bad.
It doesn't help that he actually is a kid, so it's like, so you're just imagining
it's inappropriate.
You're just imagining him doing all the annoying Fortnite kid things.
Yeah. Joffrey pulls out a freaking fidget spinner and then does the floss.
And he's fucking listening to Baby Shark nonstop. And
yes.
And we're all just like,
no,
wow, Joffrey, what a hero.
No, in the background, he just has people going, freaking. I forget the Finger Family song, whatever that one. Yeah, he just has like people going, "Mommy finger, where are you?" in the background, like really loudly.
The others are trying to fight Joffrey, and Joffrey's only fighting back with dank memes.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh, man. You wouldn't think it's possible to make Joffrey worse. But Addie has succeeded. Addie, you should write season 9 of Game of Thrones. Joffrey rises from his grave to claim the title of the King of Dank Memes.
Yeah. Joffrey.
Is that the episode title right there? Joffrey, the King
No,
of Dank Memes?
no. The thing is, Joffrey's actor is to would probably take too much money and too much effort to get right. So instead, Joffrey's actor will be replaced by Danny DeVito.
Or Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau. I love this song. Then it's just Danny Shark. Hi, John.
Somehow I can actually see Joffrey beating his girlfriend and then being like, I did not hit her. I did not. He just throws a water bottle at Sean Bean.
he throws a keg full of water at him, you mean?
He throws a keg full of used condoms at him.
Yeah.
Addy, I don't know what you did, but you've now created something of I'm just going to think of throwing used condoms at Sean Bean. Why do you do these things to me?
It's my power. It's my mutant power. I don't freaking know.
I'm glad Mike's missing out on this. He'd love to have a serious discussion of Game of Thrones. And instead we just like, hey, what if you threw used condoms at Sean Bean? Oh, Christ.
If we ever make it big, all of these are getting made into freaking actual movies. Potentially the same one.
The same one.
We will get Sean Bean just so we can throw on a used condom at him.
I'm pretty sure you'd have to pay him a lot of money. Because I'd imagine Sean Bean has some degree of self-respect. Oh, man. Whew. Can we recover from that?
No.
There is no recovering.
Alright.
Joffrey has an argument with Sean Bean, then he throws the freaking the used condom while freaking Power Man 500 is playing.
Is it
Just
Power
make
Man
the scene over.
5000?
I don't freaking know.
Our brains are
think-
turning off.
I don't listen to them, so I don't know.
Oh, man.
Right, we forgot Meme Hour, if we didn't do anything else.
Oh, man. Can we skip Meme Hour this week? I feel like we got the memes
No.
out.
No, because I made a personal
created
meme
our
for
own.
you.
We don't need other memes. We made our own.
I made a personal meme for you.
I'll fucking make a timestamp. Jesus.
Alright. Freaking, I need to find it. I need to find it still.
Oh, shit. Well, okay.
I
I'll wait on that timestamp.
Yeah, just talk about something while I find the freaking picture.
Oh, man. Woo. Okay. Pink. When would you say you first heard of Game of Thrones?
2011-ish?
When
No, it had to be a bit later than that. I remember on the old THU forum, Mr. Edge fan, our old friend, would often post GIFs of that show.
Right, him, Mike, Muda, and Soon used to always get into Game of Thrones discussions, and I always felt...
Yep, so that's when I first heard of it.
I remember when I first heard of it, effectively was a massive spoiler to begin with.
Yeah.
Whew. And now we wait.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
I don't freaking remember what I named the file. And I also don't remember where I put it.
Let's skip
Which is the hard part.
Can we just skip it for this week?
No. It's this one thing.
All right, one meme, but then we gotta call it because it's noon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Freaking hell. I'm going to learn some opening of Photoshop because it remembers what I freaking saved. Hopefully.
I feel like I gotta, calm down from this podcast. Huh? I'm just...
I mean, where do you go after Joffrey throwing a used condom at Sean Bean?
We go to hell.
Yeah. Well, we were going there when we start with Fetus Deletus. What is your meme even
Oh
about?
boy. Your cat.
My cat?
Yeah,
Alright.
your cat. That I'm still looking for it. Freaking out.
So, hey, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's weird, because
Addie!
I'm trying to speed things up, but it doesn't
We could
doesn't
just
freaking
end the fucking podcast. You'll have a bank of memes stockpiled for next week. It will be meme strategic. You'll be economical with the memes. Stop.
you always say this, but then I always got half of them because you hate them always. The timing doesn't matter.
If you're making me wait this long for a fucking shitpost bot meme, this is it.
It's not. I made it.
Okay.
In fact, I might have to remake it because I can't freaking find it.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
remaking.
We're not waiting for you to remake it, just so you know.
Rejoice, remaking it is freaking literally just pasting in 2 pictures. So.
Ah. Ugh.
I have the freaking part. So where the hell would it put it? It makes no sense. Whatever.
Is this the hardest any of our podcasts has ever crashed?
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Quality.
And I'm just fucking looking at IR Baboon here. And it summarizes how I feel right now.
Right. I'll put it in the good folder where I will actually find it this time. Because apparently I didn't the first time.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Game of Thrones and memes, going
Yeah?
through this show, holy shit, this show's got a lot of things that are memes now. So many quotes that nerds bring up. We got Bobby B, and he's all about gods are strongly. And we got the little old lady, and she's all like, oh, my sweet summer child, and all that shit. I've said several of these lines without knowing they were Game of Thrones references.
Right.
I've been sitting on this one timestamp
You can
for so long.
You can put up the timestamp.
Okay, thank God. I set a timestamp for 2 hours and 52 minutes. It is now 2 hours and 58 minutes. Christ alive.
Right.
Woo!
You have the timestamp up?
I did.
And I put it in Watchtower. Freaking
Fuck.
shit!
Fuck.
Right. There we go.
There it is. One meme. One meme to rule them all. Yes. Yes.
I told you
you should have gone with Sneak 100.
This is better.
So yeah, that's my cat trying to hide from the dogs. Successfully, I should note. Her illusion skill actually was 100. Who would have expected? Oh man, she's a fat kitty. All right, that's the one meme you get, boys. Get the fuck out. Addy, say bye.
No, I refuse.
You defuse? You defuse?
I defuse.
You said defuse. What are you defusing? A fucking bomb?
A Matryoshka.
You can't defuse a Matryoshka. How do you defuse that? By sticking your fucking finger in the barrel?
By sticking the hostage in it.
Okay. You know what? Yeah. Screw it. Yep. Pink, say bye.
Goodbye.
There we go. Thank you, Pink.
Bye.